your breakfast of soup and meatballs. And we're here to give it to you. Tim, how are you?
Good. It's been 2 weeks. It's been a while. We have a lot to talk about.
And I was say it's been 2 weeks, and it's going to be another 2 weeks until we get back at it because next week I'm on vacation for like 2 Sundays, which is kind of a bummer. So yeah, you got to get your helping in today, I guess. First off, I really wanted to wear my Darth Vader mask because I, it's been rough out there. Tim, can you breathe?
Finally, it's nice to wake up and it doesn't smell like someone burned ribs at a cookout. Uh,
What's nuts to me is like if you've been following the show, you know that I will cough and sneeze and wheeze, and I've got some jacked up stuff in my nose and my sinus area. I took Maria to gymnastics class. I want to say Monday, so I will, and I could actually smell burning. Like I can't smell much. My taste buds are kind of off, but I could smell it. That's how strong this stuff was. I can't imagine what it was like up north for you.
yeah, I think was it Wednesday? I woke up, and when you watch a movie and like they go to Mexico and suddenly like the film changes, like they use like a yellow filter on the film. Like that, I was like, did I wake up in Guadalajara, like on an episode of Breaking Bad? Like, are we negotiating with the cartel? And like, I looked on my phone, and the air quality index was like 250 or something like that. It was rough.
Yeah, that's what it was for me here, and I had a discussion with Derek about this because we don't often talk about air quality. So I said, let's look up what normal air quality is, and like it's from 0 to 50. So we were the 200 to 300 range. We were in like it wasn't like super dangerous, like oh my gosh, stay inside forever, but it's not extended outside time.
and not to get on a political soapbox, but I was like, look, I can do a couple days of 100-degree weather.
Yeah.
I can do bad air quality,
Hmm.
or I can do national outbreak of explosive diarrhea. I can do one of the three, maybe two. All three is too much. I can't do the parlay.
It's you know what? I don't know if I sent you this article. It's because I know it didn't make the rundown, but now that you say that, I have to go look at this because where did I put? There's a message board I go to, and it's about usually about Michigan State sports like football. Here we go. Um, this was again when you talk about politics, the president had a speech or whatever he did on Thursday. Uh, Kishi or Kalshi, whatever it is.
Yeah, the
Kalshi's taking bets on it.
yeah.
Like, and my comment was, we as a country officially gamble too much.
Yeah,
Um,
I was reading something that the teleprompter operator for the White House reportedly made $100,000 on like inside information of what would be in certain
oh yeah, there you go.
speeches and topics, and even like down to like specific words that would be used. So this
Unbelievable.
person like could see the transcript of what was going to be said and would be like, "Oh yeah, no, the president's going to say Tehran."
To be fair, to be fair, this current administration, if you are the teleprompter operator, it's not an easy bet.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think if anybody
There's a
goes
lot of
off
going off book.
teleprompter more, I would be surprised. But no, that we had this talk one of our shows about why Bill Belichick never bet on what hoodie he was going to wear at a Super Bowl because of insider information. Like, why don't you just call a random phone number in Dubuque, Iowa, or something, and say, "Hey, it's Bill. I'm wearing gray. Go make a buck." Like,
Right.
but we're gambling on presidential speeches now. Like, you can gamble on the weather on this Kalshi app.
You
That's too much. I'm sorry.
and this is disgusting. You can bet on uh like if there's going to be a strike on Iran, you can bet on the
Yeah.
number of casualties. Like it is truly disgusting.
I remember a long time ago. I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. I bet $1 on the Penn State Notre Dame game. I
That's only
haven't made too many
that's
more
only
bets since then.
slightly that's only slightly less disgusting than betting on military casualties.
So I'm glad you can breathe. I'm glad we don't have
Likewise,
to worry. What's that?
I said likewise.
I'm I'm glad we don't have to worry about you know, nobody's betting on our show. I don't think. Before we get into something that would have made like the top of the show before the top story, I got to tell you, I went upstairs to fill up my giant water jug, and Jen went to the Dollar General last night. That's not news. We were out and about, and she stopped in to get some candy. I got to show you this, man. This is a Jolly Rancher. It looks like it's a
That is in
circle
fact a Jolly
candy,
Rancher.
but it's a Jolly Rancher. It is a double flavored Jolly. This is grape and green apple. I just had orange and cherry. These might be the greatest like hardtack sucker candies. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Sure.
they're not Starburst, they're not chewable. This is phenomenal. Go get these. Like a lot of them. It's called 2-in-1, I think.
I'm skeptical but intrigued. 2 flavors.
Yeah, no, they're good.
What's
Do
this
you like
witchcraft?
Jolly Ranchers?
I love Jolly Ranchers.
The thing about Jolly Ranchers, Jen must have like 1,000 of them a day. I keep them in my drawer at school, and I probably have, I don't know, 600 a day. And you give them out to the kids. The kids like them too. The bummer about Jolly Ranchers is the way it's like a waxy. If you accidentally bite it, it's on your tooth forever. There's no coming off. You can go to the dentist, they can get the drill. It's just a part of you now. These are nothing like that. So
Yeah.
all of the praise in the world, and maybe Jolly Ranchers will sponsor us.
Praise be to Jolly Rancher.
So before we get into the actual like news, like big news story, I almost forgot today because I talked about it with you yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty big day, 27th anniversary of David Cohn's perfect game, and at the time it was the 16th perfect game, and there've been a couple since then. But it's special because you and I were actually at Yankee Stadium for this.
Yeah.
What kind of memories do you have of this event?
I remember in the lead up to it, there was debate between you and me about what game to see because it was part of a Holy Rosary Church bus trip.
Close. This was not a Holy Rosary trip. This was a Tony Farnell trip.
Oh, right. That's right.
We passed on the Holy Rosary trip because it was going to be a Cleveland game. Now, back in '99, Cleveland was really, really good.
And
that lineup was disgusting.
That's the game I was pushing for. I was like, why don't we want to see Cleveland, New York? This is like
because I didn't want to see New York possibly lose. And I'm like, dude, it's Montreal. They're gonna win that game. Oh, look at that! I didn't even notice. But yeah, so the getting there was cool. Do you remember if we did Monument Park or not?
We did. I remember.
Because I don't. A lot of times we would go out to Monument Park before the game.
Because I remember being outside the stadium and it being so hot, and it was baking the garbage outside the stadium.
And I had smell back then, so it was not good.
Yeah, it was an unpleasant sensory experience.
That's one way to put it. So we get in and we find our seats, which are out in the left field upper deck.
Yeah, we
so not quite in home run territory. We're still in foul territory.
Yeah, we could have reached up and actually touched the sun. We were pretty high up.
And I think we stayed there for just a half inning, just the top of the first.
I also remember because it was like legitimately like 100 degrees.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, we're not lying.
And I remember going to concessions between innings. And there was like an elderly lady who was being wheeled out because the heat was just
fair, yeah,
too much.
I remember in the bathroom people basically taking showers in the sink, which was absolutely disgusting.
That is, incredibly gross.
Almost as bad as the trash smell outside, but
maybe worse actually. A Yankee Stadium sink shower.
An old Yankee Stadium sink shower.
Yeah,
The new one's only 20 years old. It might be a little cleaner.
the
No,
old
but
the Bronx Schwitz, no good.
so Bob Gemelli's clutch idea. He's like, look, it's not full. We can go downstairs. So I think like the bottom of the first, we started walking down to the mezzanine or the loge area, and we found we had walked all the way to the first base side,
Yeah,
and we found 4 seats. Your dad was with us as well, following along, and the I guess the thing is, you slip the usher a couple bucks, and if a guy shows up and says, "Hey, these are my seats, these are my tickets," you just get up and move. You try it again.
yeah.
Nobody ever came for those tickets. That was a phenomenal bout of luck for us.
It was, and another nice little bit of luck is we got a rain delay,
Yeah.
which
Well,
some people left. It made it less likely we were going to get bounced.
yeah, good idea. Good call there. I mean, I remember it was like a 45-minute rain delay. I put my head back. I might have taken a nap. So bucket list item: sleep at Yankee Stadium. I got that taken care of. But then, in terms of you can watch the game, you can see the Knobloch play and the Ricky Leday play and all that
Paul
stuff.
O'Neill.
But being at the stadium, one of the ticks I have if I go to a baseball game, I've always long thought, what if this is a no hitter? It happened at Scranton Wilkes-Barre at a Red Barons game once. I saw a no hitter into the seventh, and then somebody broke it up. I'm like, oh, such a bummer. When do you start thinking about stuff like this? So Yankee Stadium, Paul O'Neill makes that great catch in the first inning. All that is a great catch. By the sixth and seventh, that's really important, though.
Yeah, by I'd say like the sixth inning, when you get to the back
You
half of the
you
game,
think six?
yeah, you start to think about a no hitter, and then you get to the seventh, and you're like, has there been a walk? That's when you start thinking like, oh, you've got the special thing, and then you've got the extra special thing, where you start to think, oh, we do we have a perfect game on our hands?
This is not, and we're not announcers, so like you don't talk about it. Like
Unless you're that one,
the
yeah,
girl behind us, who I forget the exact words she said, but it was something to the effect of, "I don't think they've made it to first base yet."
yeah.
And
Oh, you
my
think?
dad, my father, who like at the time, you gotta understand, like I'm still in college and dad is still dad. He's not like buddy buddy yet. He had this look on his face like we might be going to prison because my dad's gonna kill this
I
girl.
thought he was going to go over the seats.
But fortunately, the guy who was with her, I guess, like it's okay. She's, and they get the job done. Um, that was one of the coolest life experiences. You can go to a game seven. Like I have a friend who drove from Chicago to Cleveland in like 3 hours to see Game Seven of the 2016 World Series. You're going to see something cool there. I don't know, man. A random Sunday in the Bronx when Yogi Berra comes back to Yankee Stadium, you don't expect to see David Cone throw 88 pitches in front of a painted number 8 with Yogi Berra or with Don Larson in attendance. He threw out the first pitch. Cool day.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you'd said, like if you go to a game seven or if you go to an all-star game, like that's a ready-made special experience. It would be like if you went to a jewelry store and you found a diamond, and you'd be like, well, what do you expect? Of course you're gonna. This was like if you walked out your door and you found a diamond in like the grass of your front lawn. You'd
Ooh,
be like,
look at
well, how
that.
about that? Yeah, pure serendipity, the best live sports moment of my life.
27 years ago yesterday. And I got a text from Roseanne, and well, that's nice. I got a text from Xfinity telling me my bill has been paid. Oh boy. Where is she? 27 years ago, you scared the bejesus out of me. I guess she was in Arizona, and I left a message on her answering machine. Yes, we had those back then. And apparently, like, I don't know what I said, but it was like an urgent message that, like, you have to call back. And, like, I guess I got her nervous. But yeah, there it is. Out in Arizona for that, so.
I just a little snapshot of the time. I also remember there was a lot of talk on the ride to the game about this young kid, this Drew Henson kid.
Oh, wow.
because he was obviously a prospect for the Yankees, but
Yeah.
he might try his hand at the football thing.
Do you remember who started for Montreal?
Was it Javier Vasquez?
Yeah, Javier Vasquez. I was going to say he played a big role in the Yankees Red Sox rivalry by sucking it up in 2004's Game 7. One other little tidbit about this game, and then we'll move on. I didn't see the broadcast live, obviously, but I've since seen many, many, many viewings of this on MLB Network. In the 8th inning, Bernie Williams gets a double. I think it's a leadoff double. And Tim McCarver comes out and says, man, I think David Cohn really wants this insurance run. Dude, it's 6-0. He hasn't seen a 3-ball count all day. He wants to get back on the mound. He doesn't give a shit about a insurance run. Are you kidding me, Tim McCarver? Yeah. So that sticks out to me.
Yeah.
Really.
If you're worried about a perfect game, you're not thinking about the win or the loss.
No. I mean, and at 6-0, God forbid you give up a walk, you give up a hit or whatever. You still want to win the game, but at 6-0, you feel pretty confident that you're not going to give up 6 in the 9th inning, that you need a Bernie Williams run. So Tim McCarver, just another piece of goofiness. More goofiness here because it's been a month of packed stadiums here in the United States, dramatic finishes. I guess some surprises nobody saw coming. The World Cup has officially reached its final match today, 3:00. Somewhere, one nation will be celebrating, the other nation will be very sad. Will it be Spain? Will it be Argentina? Will it be somebody else who wins a lot of money on Kalshi? I don't know. Tim, how did we get here?
Well, first of all, this is not the final. I thought France was going to win it all. I thought France was just the most talented of the semifinalists. I thought we were going to see a France-England semifinal. So what do I know?
Hope you didn't bet that on Kalshi.
I did not. We did get a very fun England-France third-place game yesterday that ended up with 10 goals.
You're ahead of the game. That's on the quick hitter list, but
yeah. We got here because Lionel Messi just refuses to go off into the sunset early, and we got here because Spain is one of the 2 best teams in the world, and they were able to get an early one against France. They got a PK, and then they added another one to sort of put France away. And from Argentina's side, England, I don't know what they were doing once they had the lead. They just started warming up the buses, and Argentina dominated the second half and did what they've done all tournament and came back. And Messi with an absolute perfect ball on the winner. He sends a ball into the box that's just like, gave the English defender a haircut on his way to his teammate who puts it in the back of the net. So it's been a fantastically entertaining tournament. I'm excited to see what Argentina and Spain have for us later today. I'm glad the air quality's improved because I was worried that was going to be a factor, might even postpone the final.
The final's in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, they're playing in New Jersey. Spain is the favorite for a reason, but with what Argentina's done all tournament,
That's the thing. I mean, so you look at Argentina. Messi might not dominate the game, but he might dominate 1 minute, and that 1 minute might be the difference between like a 2-1 game and a 2-2 game. I think that from what I looked at in terms of Spain being the favorite, the key for Spain, according to what I read, was to avoid turnovers in the midfield. And I thought to myself, man, I know very little about soccer. But if I come on the air and say, well, if Spain avoids turnovers, like, no kidding, that's any sport. Like, you don't want to have turnovers.
That's like, when you watch, that's why I can't stand pregame shows. Like when you watch a baseball pregame show and you're like, well, he wants to get that first pitch over for strikes. Oh, he wants to get ahead in the count, does he? Oh, the Eagles will win if they win the turnover battle. Like, Yeah, that's true 95% of the time. The team that turns it over less wins.
That's fair.
So yeah, I also like Spain if they don't turn it over in the midfield.
Um, it's been a while since Spain and Argentina have played. The last game, the 2018 international friendly that Spain won, 6-1. Before that, it had been 8 years, and Argentina won an international friendly in 2010, 4-1. So, do you expect maybe a high scoring affair in this, like we saw in the third place game?
Well, I don't expect 10 goals.
No, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, look, if we get 10 goals, there were a lot of turnovers at midfield, a lot of turnovers. Um,
We want to avoid that from what I hear.
Trenchant analysis, Max. Um, I think we're going to see like a pretty standard, like like fewer than 5 combined goals.
Okay.
I see something in the neighborhood of like kind of like Spain England, like a 2-1,
2-1,
2-0.
2-0,
Yeah.
3-1 game. Fair. And big prediction. That I got Kalshi on my phone. Who am I betting on?
I know Argentina's the sentimental favorite because they're on like a Knicks-like run where you just can't kill them in any match. Egypt couldn't do it. England couldn't do it. They had the great match with Cape Verde. But I think Spain, they won it in 2010. I think they get their second cup today.
There it is. And that's 3 o'clock on a channel that's not this channel. So it's a good time. We'll see. We'll see if you are correct. All right. Major League Baseball, we switched around to, and we just hit the Major League Baseball All-Star break. So let's start there. Home Run Derby, All-Star Game, Philadelphia, right down the road from us. Have you seen in recent history or in your memory? Have you seen a home run derby with as much drama as what we got this past week?
One doesn't come to mind.
I think when Boston, like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire at Fenway was a cool story, but they didn't deliver like what happened a couple days ago. I don't think.
When I think of the home run derby, I think of like the monster performances, like a Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton is still hitting home runs out of old Yankee Stadium.
Bobby Abreu. When what did he have? 27 in a round.
He went on a tear.
Yeah, I think of those types of performances, but. When you see Schwarber playing at his home field and he gets the big lead and then you're down to your last out and a guy no one sees winning it.
Jordan Walker. Who's Jordan Walker? But even back into the semis when it was Schwarber versus Contreras, the fans became part of it. I think I'd like to think Contreras and even in the final Walker, they understood why they were getting booed. But I've never seen that kind of atmosphere at a home run derby. It was amazing.
And it's funny. I saw an interview with Walker's parents where they were like, "We loved it. Like Philly was booing us, but like the people around us were like, we want Schwarber to win, but we also like." They were enjoying the experience of booing the parents and the parents' reaction to it so much that they were like, if Schwarber doesn't win, we'd like Jordan, like your son, to win.
They got it. Exactly. It's like the pro wrestling heel. Like, I'm out here making money for you booing me, so keep it up.
Yeah.
No reaction would have been worse. I always said, if someone came up to bat or was pitching, my Pedro thing back in the 90s, don't start chanting who's your daddy, because the competitive nature in his head is going to trigger and he's going to start pitching better. If you could make the entire stadium silent and turn your back, I don't care, that would have jarred him more, I think. But the boo, I just thought that was phenomenal. Philly fans won the home run derby for me.
Yeah, and it extended even into the next day with the player introductions during the All-Star game, where anyone who was not a Philly, National League, American League, you got booed if you were not wearing a Phillies uniform.
That's fair. That's what do you expect, right? But then, like you said, Schwarber getting the big lead, and Walker getting down to his last ball. And then you got a little bit of controversy whether or not that final home run that Walker hit was one of those magenta balls or not. I don't think it was. It actually got thrown back by a former Villanova pitcher. And did you see that?
I didn't, but that's
Kid's
fantastic.
name is Cole Vanderslice. So first of all, I saw this name and I thought, not this kid's real name. Yeah, Cole Vanderslice catches the last ball, and as any Phillies fan would do, he throws it back onto the field, and allegedly it's not one of those magenta balls. So you got a little bit of conspiracy in the home run derby as well. You get a little bit
And
of everything.
you know, it's funny because all the talk leading into the home run derby was about the new format, and a lot of people were down on like, oh, this is gonna suck. And I've got to, and I was one of those people. But I've got to admit, this format and this event delivered.
I didn't like the time, like you have 15 minutes or 5 minutes or 3 minutes. And when you have a timeout, though, I think that got for some rushed hits. I I like the old home run derby back in the 60s when it was like black and white and you played a 9 inning game. It was like baseball's a relaxed sport. It's not a 2 minute offense like football. So I like what they did, and I hope they continue something like this when it goes to Chicago next year. Um, the game the next night, you talk about the cool introduction, signing the Declaration of Baseball or whatever it is. I heard on the radio. Wouldn't it be funny if that was like Major League Baseball and like the Dwight Schrute secret
Yeah.
CBA? Like that
We had
we're
a salary cap.
we now have a salary cap because Pete Crow Armstrong signed off on it.
Yeah.
Now, um,
Joke's on you, Juan Soto. We have mandatory drug testing.
no. Uh, so I was actually watching the game on mute because I was playing I played dice baseball, so I was playing a game at the same time as I was watching the game, and you know before we talked about the relative unmatched awesomeness of the National League pitching staff, and starting with Christopher Sanchez, who's had a great first half. Well, Sanchez gotten himself into trouble, and a couple of Yankees knocked in some runs in the first, and then we didn't see offense for a while. And a lot of people on like major media were calling this a terrible game because of that. I didn't think it was a bad game, but I can watch a 1-0 baseball game. What were your thoughts on the game itself?
So not only did we not see offense, but we saw a lot of strikeouts. A lot of strike. The National League combined to strike out, I think, was it 15 times?
I'll give you that.
And the AL struck out something like 11 or 12 times. We saw baseball in 2026. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of dominant pitching. We thought it was going to be the National League, but the American League players didn't get there by accident. And yeah, Sanchez struggled in that first inning. Did the AL bat around? I know they got to the bottom of the order.
Ben Rice got the third RBI. I don't think they batted around though.
Okay. But yeah, Sanchez was and he was getting ahead in counts. He wasn't turning it over at midfield, but he's getting ahead in counts, and then he was just losing batters. He walked Langoliers. He gives up the 2-run hit to Bellinger, and
but Bellinger got a good. He squared up on one.
Yeah.
But I mean, as the game went on, like you said, great pitching deserves credit, but an All-Star game, you can't adjust because you're getting a different pitcher every inning, and you're getting a different All-Star pitcher every inning, and some of them are just starters out there throwing their throw day, but still, in a game where you adjust from like the third inning to the sixth inning, there's a reason why pitchers only throw 5 innings. They don't want to see the lineup for the third time. That's you're getting that in spades in the All-Star game. So
yeah, it's a format that favors the pitchers.
Yeah. I got on the radio. I called in do you know who Katie Nolan is?
Sure.
So she does a show
on Dan Soder, the comedian Dan Soder.
Yeah. She does a show on Mad Dog from noon to 1. She does an hour show. That's like we go longer than her show. But I called in. It was near the 4th of July because they were talking about what songs the Americans should be playing after an American win in the World Cup, and they were talking about um, like Born in the USA or things like you could like get the fans to get into. And she's a wrestling fan. I'm surprised she didn't think of Real American. So I called up, but her show ended before I got through. So now she's talking about the All Star game, and it's around 12:30, and I'm like, I don't know if I should call. Oh yeah, I'm gonna call in. If I don't get through, I don't get through. But I got through, and they're talking about how just not fun the All Star game is, and how just like any other All Star game, let's get rid of it. And I thought to myself, back in 1997, we started this experiment called interleague play. Baseball was one of those really magical things where the American League and the National League they didn't see each other until October, except for that one day in July when you put the best of them together. And there was like there wasn't like an aura to it, but it was different.
It's you're right, because
Now, what are
like,
your thoughts on that?
well, like a moment like Randy Johnson and John Kruk,
John,
it's got a little more juice to it when it has that novelty. It's like seeing like Superman and Captain America fight.
I like that word, novelty, because that's what an All-Star game should be. Should have. I like that. I wish I had that word the other day.
Yeah, you didn't see that outside of the World Series. So when you got to see it, and also like pre cable TV, you didn't get to see a lot of these players until the
That's
All-Star game.
fair.
Like especially like in the 80s, you might see, living in the Northeast, you would see Nolan Ryan on TV maybe 3 times all year till the playoffs. Everything else you would just read about him. It was like hearing like stories about Paul
It
Bunyan.
was a legend, yeah.
Yeah,
It was Bill Brasky.
So I think that also adds to it. But going back to the point about the argument that this was a boring All-Star game, like we were saying about the cone perfect game. What part of the joy of sports is stumbling on those unexpected moments. And this All-Star game, the expected thing was that the National League has been the dominant league and is the league where there's just more talent this
Yeah.
year. And the thinking was that the National League was going to roll. So to then watch a game where the opposite happens, that's why we watch these things.
I'm with you. And the American League now, 23 out of the last 29. That's significant.
Wild. Yeah.
Like there was a run there where like Penn State and Michigan football, Michigan had won like 9, they were 9-0-0 over a 10-year span where they skipped a year. And I thought, man, that's a decade of dominance. The American League, I think, had won 14 in a row at one point. It's like something similar to that, which I don't know. If you don't root for the American, what was the phrase? If you root for the National League, you're un-American. So
yeah, and it's funny because the National League had dominated like in the 60s and 70s, but yeah, we're on a run now where the American League, from like when we were in like junior high, has been the dominant league in terms of all-star play.
well, I mean, yeah, 29 years doesn't put us in junior high, or does it?
Well, 30 years ago is
97
96.
puts us, yeah, just end of high school.
Well, I'm even thinking of like the early 90s games, I'm thinking like the was it 90, it was at Wrigley, and like the American League, as long as I've been able to remember All-Star games, has been the dominant league.
So that's a good cutoff point for the major league season. You kind of stop and take stock of things. And going into the All-Star break, I mean, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, Boston has all these injuries. And I try to tell you, you're 3.5, you're 4.5 games out of the wild card. It's hard to say. Well, Boston has gone on a massive's the wrong word. I would say it is historic.
Yeah,
A historic run. They've won their 12th game in a row. They're now in the playoffs if the season ended today and all that happy stuff.
they're above
Um,
500 for the first time since opening day.
Amazing.
They beat
49 and
Cincinnati on
48.
opening day, and they ever since they've had a losing record.
They they've tied the second best winning streak in franchise history. Do you know the last time they won 12 in a row?
I don't.
1988. They won the American League the American League East that year at least. And the year they had the record, you know what the record is?
I don't know the record.
15 in a row. So that's well within reach, right? 1946. That year
They
they
went
won
to
the
the World
American League by
Series.
12 games.
Yeah,
So uh,
and the major league record is I think 26, like by the New York Giants,
okay.
like 100 years ago, like the Mel Ott Giants.
That's ridiculous to start. We can start talking about that when we have our next show in 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, and
It might be that long.
we're not even halfway there for Boston, but 12 in a row, I'll take it.
But it turned their season around. Was there something? Can you go back 12 games? Was there something that clicked or something that happened? How did we get here?
They're hitting. All year it's been, that the offense was just crapping out at the worst times, and now, like, even with all the injuries, they're putting up runs. I don't know what they're averaging over this streak, but um, and they're beating good. Like it started with the sweep of the Yankees. They're beating Tampa, at the moment. Like, yeah, the Mets were mixed in there, and they beat the Angels, but they're
Well, the
beating.
streak didn't start with the Yankees. I'm looking right now. They did lose 2 to Washington. Haha. But the Angels, White Sox, Mets, Rays. But listen, you play the teams that are on your schedule, and they've just beaten the Rays 3 in a row, and the Rays are in first place. So
Yeah,
and the White Sox are in first place. So
yeah.
yeah, you get that. As far as scoring runs, if you can do a quick average in your head, 7, 5, 10, 3, 4, 6, 2, 5, 8, 7, 8, 5. Those are the runs scored.
It feels like
Uh,
seven's around the average.
you've got 3 shutouts in there: a 10-0 win over Tampa, 4-0 over the Mets, 5-0 over the White Sox, and a few other times where you've given up 1 or 2 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different 2 or fewer runs, 1 or 2 runs given up. So
And
you say you've hit the ball well. I will counter that with your pitching has been just as good.
and a lot of that's without Ranger Suarez, because he went down around the 4th of July with a groin injury.
That's not good. You know
Well, he's not even going to do a rehab. He's due back.
he's just coming back.
Yeah, they just rested him around the All-Star break, but he's due back. I think for just like his next scheduled start.
And Sonny Gray and Aroldis Chapman. Those are 2 names that a couple of weeks ago we might have thought were on the trading block. But forget about that now. I think you have to look at the Red Sox as probable buyers now. And here, a few days into the second half, all the graphics I see on baseball sites back to Detroit, and the fact that Detroit has, I don't know, they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're fighting, they're clawing, they're currently 3.5 out of the playoffs, but you've got this Tariq Skubal cloud above you. If you're Detroit, 3.5 out currently, what do you do with Skubal?
So Detroit is apparently very, very, very much of the belief that they can contend.
Here's the numbers I saw from Buster Olney: 22-14 since the start of June. They've been playing at a 99 win pace for almost a quarter of a season. So that's the news I saw. That like I don't know if they move him or not now.
In a division that you wonder, does Chicago come back down to earth? Like,
Sure.
That's a division that's seemingly up for grabs if Detroit stays hot.
They're 5.5 out of Chicago right now, and if you look at the Tigers' upcoming schedule, they don't play they don't play a divisional game again. So once they're done with, they get Kansas City for 4 end of July, but they don't play a divisional game. They got Baltimore, Sacramento, Seattle, San Francisco. They won't play Cleveland until the middle of August. I'll be back at school almost August 11th when they play another Central team, and they've got only 3. They got 7 games with the White Sox. So, like you said, the division's still wide open.
Yeah, it really does sound like, from what I've read, that Detroit just will not be sellers at this point. I mean, we'll see how hot they remain, but
I guess the good news then is because the Dodgers, I think, were the front runners to sign him. Like, the Dodgers need Skubal, like I need another busted nose, I guess.
yeah, I mean, if Skubal had gone, presumably they would want to get him out of the American League. They're not going to Jaylen Brown him and trade him to the White Sox. So presumably, the buyers would have been, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Brewers,
I
the
think San Diego
Phillies,
was up there.
San Diego.
Yeah. So
So
I think we're safe there. In terms of the other team that we look at here, the Yankees were the exact opposite of Boston. It felt like they lost 17 in a row, and it happens like it's like watching the same episode of The Big Bang Theory day after day, night after night. It's the same story over and over. Yankees
it's
start out hot, and then come June, they turn into trash. But they kind of sort of turned it around into the break. They split with Tampa, which is like a win for this team, and they got 3 really come from behind, like 8th and 9th inning, come from behind wins against the Nationals going into the break, and then they had a 1-0 lead against the Dodgers before. Here's where Aaron Boone can't win. If he takes Cole out and the bullpen gives up the lead, why didn't you leave Cole in? He leaves Cole in. He gives up a home run to Mac Muncy. Why did you leave Cole in? Why didn't you take him out? I get it. You can't win there. The best thing I think that happened to them was the rain out yesterday.
Yeah. Now, when, because I've been seeing things that Judge might be out even longer than expected. Like,
he hasn't done anything baseball related. So at the optimistic look at Judge was they just said August, not early August, just August. The best news injury front wise for New York, Max Fried started on Friday for Scranton. He got 3 innings. He threw 52 pitches, and they said he's expected to make at least one more rehab start before he's ready to rejoin the rotation. But New York has had a big injury bug hit them. Rodon missed a lot of time, and I don't know what they're expected to do now in the trade market, because Brian Cashman is the kind of guy that's like, well, we're getting Max Fried back. It's like we made a trade. Aaron Judge is coming back. It's like we made a trade. But like you said, with Aaron Judge and with rib injuries in general, nobody knows anything except he hasn't done anything baseball related.
Well, now there's, like, I was reading things about, like, are they going to shut him down? Like, is this going to be a lost season for Aaron Judge?
He's on the 60. They just moved him to the 60-day injured list. I guess he was placed on it near or around May 31st, because that's the time frame I have here on my chart. They are 17-20 since the Aaron Judge injury, since his last game. They're averaging 4 runs a game, which is not great. And if you look at the second half schedule, how they start: Dodgers, Pirates, Phillies, White Sox, Cubs, Cardinals, Braves, all of them over 500 right now. And after that run, they got the Mariners, and they're only 2 games under right now. They might be over 500 by then. So the Yankees have a very, very it's not a difficult schedule, but it's a tougher schedule than you'd like to see. We talked about this remaining strength of schedule that Tankathon has. Right now, the Yankees' remaining schedule is 13th toughest at 501, like just a shade over 500. But the teams that I just listed, those current
I I lost your audio. No, the audio is completely out for me.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
See, I try to do nice things. I try to use the cool headset, and I had it plugged in.
I had to put my glasses on, but now I can hear you.
That's good. Well, and anyway, like I was saying, the remaining schedule, the entire schedule for the Yankees, they're 13th toughest, just at like .501 winning percentage. But the teams that I just listed, up through Seattle, their winning percentage is .550, which is statistically a lot tougher than the entire schedule. It's going to be tough for them to. And right, they have what's the wild card lead? It's 5.5 right now, or no, it's at 5 right now. So we'll see if they hold on. But yeah, without Aaron Judge, that the offense is significantly different.
It's wild how good both Boston and New York have been. New York, playing close to 500 ball without Judge, and the Red Sox doing what they're doing without Crochet or Roman Anthony, because Anthony's been out since before Mother's Day.
That's I knew that I knew it was out. I didn't realize it was that long, but
I know it was May. Now he's been out for months.
Been out a while.
Yeah.
Yankees were without Aaron Judge for a while, and it's another season of this, so it's kind of a bummer. And with Stanton out as well, that's almost to be expected. Cody Bellinger's really done. He's done his job, but still 3 games under 500 without him.
And Ben Rice, he's been a godsend.
Ben Rice had a huge season. There's talk that the Yankees should be extending him now because you know what you have with him, and I would tend to agree. I like Ben Rice. So, moving around here, let's go to basketball. It's been a while since any sort of major basketball news has hit. And the NBA and Adam Silver, they haven't released their schedule yet for next year. And it's not because of wildfires. It's not because Adam Silver is thinking of new ways to change the game. It's because LeBron James doesn't know where he wants to play, or at least he's not telling us. Adam Silver, speaking at the 2026 CNBC Fanatics Fest, says, quote, "We have to finish up the schedule. Where LeBron plays will affect the schedule. It will influence how we set the schedule. Opening week, Christmas, so I need him to make a decision," Silver said. Tim, you're in charge of the NBA. What do you do about this?
I don't know what can be done except what Silver did, which is to, this is him politely saying, LeBron, come on. This is the most public prodding a commissioner can give a player to make a decision about his ultimate destination. But other than this, there's really not much more you can do. I think
you don't like future bet like Golden State, Philadelphia, Miami, and just put them on Christmas.
I mean,
those are pretty good teams. Those would be Christmas-related teams, I think.
I was going to say, I think Philadelphia is a compelling watch with or without LeBron. I think it's more an issue of I think LeBron just likes the attention. I think he likes that the world is talking about him.
Back to the decision, no other athlete anywhere had a 60-minute ESPN documentary dedicated to his free agent landing. And I think that's where it got to me. Like, I try not to actively root against a lot of people, but that's where it hit me that I just don't like this guy as a player. And when Dallas beat the Heat that first finals, like, that was the greatest thing ever. That was almost as good as the Knicks winning the NBA Finals last year, having seen LeBron lose.
I think we're kind of getting to the point, and I think LeBron knows it, where people feel like he's milking it a little bit. And I think he's canny enough to know that, and he'll have a decision, if not this week. I can't imagine it goes past next week.
We will see. The one thing I wanted...
This can't go into August.
NBA related. Oh, sure it can.
But it damages LeBron's brand if it does.
I've started to see this thing on TikTok where you need 3 people to do it. And the last I checked, it's you and me, and we don't have 3. But we have ChatGPT. So we're going to build a team here. We're going to build an NBA team of all-time, not all-time players. We have a budget. You have $20 to spend, and we're going to auction players off. Like, we'll bid on them.
Okay.
So the prompt I'm giving ChatGPT, I'm going to read it so you can cut and paste it. Randomly select one NBA player who played at any point between, I used an arbitrary year, 1980 and today.
Okay.
The player should be someone recognizable to the average NBA fan, not an obscure end-of-the-bench player. Every qualifying player should have a reasonably equal chance of being selected. Return only the player's name. So I'm just going to get a name here, okay? So,
and I'm building a starting 5?
You're building you need a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, a power forward, and a center.
Okay.
And we have $20 to spend. So we're going to bid against each other.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
I'm not going to... You just got to trust me that ChatGPT is what it is. I'm not going to share the screen because I'm afraid it's going to... After the headphone thing. So I just hit the thing. Our first player, you get the first bid, is Larry Johnson.
Okay.
You have how much would you be willing to spend for Larry Johnson?
I'll bid $2.
I'm going to go 3.
You could have Larry Johnson for 3.
So I'm going to put Larry Johnson in my power forward spot, and I spent 3. So I have $17 left.
Okay.
All right. So my first bid on Anthony Penny Hardaway.
Now, is this the player at their peak, or we get... Okay.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Larry Johnson's a bad buy.
Well, I didn't know if we were getting for their career numbers, or if we're saying like Larry or Penny at his peak was like a first team All NBA type guy.
We'll call Prime Penny.
Okay.
Prime Penny, and I'll open the bid. I'll bid 3.
I'll bid 4.
I'll go 5.
I'll bid 6.
All right, so Penny is yours for 6. Penny Hardaway. I'm assuming you're putting him at your point guard spot?
I am.
Okay, so you have 14, I have 17. You lead the bid with Mitch Richmond. Former Sacramento King of...
Yeah, former Kansas State standout. I'll bid $4 for Mitch Richmond.
$4. You can have Mitch Richmond for 4.
Okay.
Where are you putting him?
I'll put him at the 2.
You're putting him at your shooting guard, Mitch Richmond. Boom. So you are halfway. You have half your budget left. You have 10. I have 17. My first bid on Latrell Sprewell. Oh, geez. Can you imagine Latrell Sprewell and Larry Johnson on the same team?
Yeah. They went to the finals.
Weren't they? They were the Knicks together. Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
But that was Latrell's. That was his interesting. I'll go 2 on Latrell Sprewell.
I'll go 3 on Spreewell.
I'll tell you what, you can have him for 3.
I'll put him at the small forward.
Here, Latrell Sprewell, $3. So you have $7 to spend on your front court, and I still need players. Your opening bid now on Detlef Schrempf.
I'll bid 3 on Detlef.
I'll go 4. I need players.
I can't spend 5 on Detlef. You could have him. I only have $7 left.
I can't put him. What did I spent 3, right?
No, you spent 4 because I said I couldn't spend 5 on him.
That's fair. All right, I got him for 4. I can't put him at my 6th man, which is where he really belongs. So I'll put him at my 3.
Okay.
You who's leading off this? I think it's you. I've not forgotten. Ooh, is an interesting name, Glenn Rice.
Glenn Rice.
You have a slot at the 4 and the 5 open for him.
Yeah, but he was a 3. I can't see putting Glenn Rice at the 4. I'll bid $2.
I'm going to think strategically. You can have him for 2.
All right, I'll put him at the 4.
And you're going to have to put him there, and hope that I don't know, Shaq or Akeem comes out. All right, my opening bid on. And it's just you might not get. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm gonna get him for $1. You're not. There's no guarantee that you even see a 5 here. The name they sent out is Mark Price, and I'll bid $1.
You could have him.
He'll be the point guard. I can't. You can't afford to bet 2 because he's your center then.
Well, yeah. Or I would have to move Glenn Rice to the center, Spreewell to the 4.
The way they play this, you can't move people around.
Oh, okay.
It'd be cheating. So you get to lead off with, I guess he could theoretically play center. It'd be interesting to see. Sean Kemp. You have $5 to spend.
I'll bet 4 on Sean Kemp.
And I'm going to let you have Sean Kemp. So you finished the game with $1. I think you spent more wisely than I did. The next 2 players I'm going to get for $1 and have $10 left. So the next player, Chris Webber, I'm going to put Chris Webber at the center for $1. And my shooting guard, come on, good shooting guard. This would be an interesting backcourt matchup. Mitch Richmond guarding Tim Hardaway.
Okay.
And
former teammates in Golden State.
Yeah. So if we were to just compare across Penny Hardaway versus Mark Price, I'd say Edge Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway. At the 2, it's I think Mitch is probably better too, but Tim's an interesting option there. Schrempf and Spreewell, that's an interesting matchup.
Very different players.
Larry Johnson, Glenn Rice. I think down in the post, it's Larry Johnson. And then Sean Kemp, Chris Webber. Wow.
That's like a push.
Yeah.
Peak Kemp was really good.
So let's, just simulate a 1-game match between the following teams. Team 1 is and team 2 is.
That's interesting that they didn't spit out any true centers.
Well, the prompt I gave it was just give me random players.
Yeah.
And come on now. Connection interrupted. Oh, here we go. You win. Team 1 wins 111 to 107. Penny Hardaway uses his size advantage, getting into the paint, creating easy dunks for Sean Kemp. Weber can take over inside offensively. I have a halftime lead, 56-54. But then Mitch Richmond catches fire, hitting three-pointers. Finishes the game with 28.
Yeah,
You know what I needed? I needed Kawhi Leonard.
Richmond and Rice were two of the more underrated scorers of the 90s. They could both fill it up.
I saw a video on Run TMC. That was like the 162 points was like the most points in NBA history or something like that.
No, the most in a game was
with Denver.
Denver and Detroit in the early 80s played a game that was like 186, 184.
Can't fact check TikTok, I guess. But that, I see those videos and I'm like, man, those are cool to see, and that's neat how we can at least try to do something like that. So you win the game, but I still have $10 left over to go buy some energy drinks, which
you can take your players to Dairy Queen.
everybody gets a slice of pizza. So it moved to football here, and I saw this on TikTok, and sometimes I see a TikTok video and I have to verify it because it's just mind-blowingly weird. Well, it's happening in college football. The Big 12 has officially rebranded itself as the Monster Energy Big 12. They signed a $20 million annual advertising partnership establishing Monster as the entitlement partner for regular season football, men's basketball, women's basketball. And what this is going to do, the $20 million annual payment is going to be roughly $1 million to all Big 12 schools. That's it. All of the branding is going to go on uniforms, on fields. I don't know. Tim, how do you think this looks for the Big 12?
I think that is incredibly cheap. I think Monster got a deal, financially speaking. As to like how it looks, you could say it looks good. You could say it looks bad. I think it's a bad look, but the fact is, it just is. This is what sports is now. Sports is how can we make money? This is how the Big 12 knows they can make money by selling themselves the Monster Energy drink.
It feels like a nothing burger though. $1 million a year, and so I looked. I had to do some at least financial research here. The Big 12 tried to do one of these private equity deals. Remember the Big 10? We talked about the Big 10 doing this, but like they rejected that. Well, yeah. the Big 12 schools rejected this private equity because it was going to be based on a loan, and the loan interest rates were like 10%. If you look at media deals, the Big 10 has the best media deal. They earned like $8.4 billion or something like that. The Big 12 only has a $2 billion media deal. And even with that, there's a $30 million differential between like schools in the Big 12 and schools in the Big 10 and the SEC. That $1 million is a drop in the bucket. When you're $30 million behind the SEC, oh, yay, Monster gave us $1 million. But now we have to have that stupid M on our jerseys at the 25-yard line, at mid-court, or wherever. Like, that's...
I think that's the thing that bothers me. Like, if it... I don't know the right way to say this. If it was like a classier brand, I guess. Like there's something so trashy about.
If it was Jolly Rancher. Oh
like,
no, I dropped it.
Like, would you sell the rights to like your wedding to Monster Energy drink?
That's a great question. Because honestly, for $20 million, yes. Yes, absolutely. Because you know what I would do? I would tell everyone on the sly, look, this is going to be a Fugazi wedding. And then next week is going to be the dream wedding of Jennifer's dreams, except now we have $20 million. Oh, yeah, I would sell that out for half of that.
But I think the impact of $20 million is different for, you and I as opposed to,
versus like Texas Tech or Iowa State.
Right.
You can go back to the discussion we had when the Big Ten was talking about this. I'm glad the Big Ten didn't sell out. An $8 billion media deal helps a lot, but I'm still of like the old school. Like I will never ever ever do business with Star Insurance ever. I hate Star Insurance. I don't even know who they are, but they have that stupid patch on the Yankee jersey. The Nike swoosh, fine. I that's whatever. Like Michigan in the '90s had the swoosh. It looked cool. So yeah, if MLB wants to have the Nike swoosh, I'm okay with that. It's the patches that just we're not NASCAR, but the Big 12 is getting a little piece of advertise. It just for what they're getting, I don't think. Like you said, Monster got a great deal.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it shows the financial desperation of the Big 12. You know that they're losing the Nebraskas and like their flagship schools, and now they're selling their soul to Monster energy drinks.
The other package I saw when I was looking this stuff up, the ACC sold the naming rights to the men's conference tournament, the men's basketball tournament. It is not the ACC tournament. It's the you look and look. I'm not going to give them any advertising, but they named their conference tournament. That is less than selling the entire conference out. I don't know.
I'm curious what the NCAA like if they have rules governing like who you can take money from. Like what I think about is how the District 4 softball tournament used to be held at Elm Park. I think it still is. And the PIAA had problems because there were advertisements on the outfield fence at Elm Park for a local strip club and for a beer distributor. And they were like, we're going to have a high school event where there's advertising for a local strip club. So I wonder, like,
time out. We go back to the field now. Who normally plays there?
It's usually like adult league softball.
Okay. Because like Coryell Stadium, the whole wall was like Bob's Sporting Goods, Lions Club. You're telling me there's a field?
Yeah, it wasn't like a little league field or anything.
It's whatever. Yeah. Like it's Colonial Beverage, but the strip club has an advertisement.
Yeah. And I just wonder, like, at what point the NCAA, feels like it would have to insert itself. Like, what business is considered disreputable enough that it's like, no, you can't call yourself like, the Pornhub Rose
State
Bowl.
Football brought to you by Sammy's. What?
Right? Yeah. Hey, Sammy's wasn't low class; it was a gentleman's lounge.
Sure. No, so I hadn't thought about that. I don't know if Monster is low class as much as it's on brand for college age kids. That's what they're doing. My high school used to sell, I don't know if it was Red Bull, some kind of energy drink, and that was even more like our student store. Like that stuff probably shouldn't be made available to high school kids in as much mass as it was. I had a kid, wonderful human being. He would come to class with 4 of these. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What? Like the look on your face is all you need. Like one is probably too much for you. You're not allowed to drink 4. Like get that out of here.
If you'll allow me a little quick aside that has nothing to do with football, but does have to do with energy drinks. So like 5 years ago when they discovered my AFib and I got taken to the ER because my heart was going like 200 plus beats a minute. And I'm surrounded by all these doctors in the emergency room. So the first question when they think like, oh, is he having a heart attack or whatever? The first question they ask is like, have you taken any illegal stimulants in the last, 48 hours? Methamphetamine, cocaine, whatever. The second question they ask is, have you had any energy drinks? That is the second worst thing you can do for your heart after meth.
after meth, after speed. No, but you know how it is. College kids that we'll call it the Pat McAfee generation. Like those kids are there. You mix vodka with Red Bull, you mix whatever with Monster. And I'll be honest, I've had Monster drinks before when I thought I needed energy for like a long drive. I was driving from St. Louis to Pennsylvania, and okay, I got to stay awake. It didn't do it. Like it didn't. I am like unenergy drinkable. And I'm also the same guy who in college when we used to go to Perkins and drink 4 pots of coffee, I could go home and fall asleep.
Can we get the combine brought to us by Monster Energy drinks? Can we have the guys like slam monsters and then run their 40?
Sure.
That'll make the cone drills interesting.
We're getting there, I guess.
Like pass catching drills with shaky hands.
I mean, the NFL is not a league that needs monsters' money, but they also don't need more eyeballs. I think that would be that'd be a fun little like American Gladiator style thing. The NFL makes enough money. They make the Big 12 look like you and me. Today I don't think there's any big news in the NFL, at least none that I saw. So we're gonna pop right into what league are we looking at today? Oh, it's my league.
Black and blue division.
If you looked at the NFC playoffs last year, the NFC Final Four had 3 teams in the NFC West and the Bears. So I think that qualifies the NFC North as the second best division in all of football. This is a division I think you look at any one of those, 3 teams, and you wouldn't be surprised if they won. And then there's Minnesota, who, was still 9-8 last year. Everybody had a winning record in this division. So most important non-quarterback. There we go. Let's get that out right. Tim, where would you like to start alphabetically?
I don't know how your alphabet works, but in my alphabet, the Vikings are at the top of the list.
Absolutely. And for Minnesota, I have the fewest words written, so that's fair.
I only have 2 letters, J.
There you go. Same here. And I wrote that simply because when I look over the roster...
It's not for J.J. McCarthy.
That's fair. He's like non-quarterback, so we got you. Nobody popped out on that roster as much. And for as good as he is, that quarterback situation is really untenable for him. You got to feel bad for Jefferson, don't you?
Yeah, I think just by pure skill, he's the best receiver in football. You have people who argue Jamar Chase or Amon St. Brown or but I think JJ, just if you look at like purely the physical tools, I think he's the best receiver in football. And it's a shame that he's going to have either J.J. McCarthy or Kyler Murray throw into him this year.
Well, if you do a Google search for Justin Jefferson, you will happen upon LarryBrownSports.com, which is talking about a potential trade to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Even
I don't know
better?
what the Raiders have for him or why the Vikings would think about moving him.
So he can maybe, we don't know what Mendoza's going to be. And then Kirk Cousins is, might be our age. Kirk Cousins is old enough to remember Cohn's perfect game.
He might have been there. I saw a highlight. There was a home run hit at Wrigley yesterday that Anthony Rizzo caught while holding his kid.
I like Rizzo as part of the Peacock broadcast team. He's a good addition to the booth.
All right. So Minnesota, that's easy. Where are we going next? Now the big boys.
I'm going to go to another obvious one. Let's go to Green Bay because I think we both have the same answer there.
I don't know, man. He's hurt. He's not coming back for a couple of weeks.
Well, and I think that's the question, because it's not just the ACL. It's Micah Parsons, for anyone unaware who we're talking about.
I think if we're talking best player, I think it's Micah. But if you start to look more at Green Bay's defense, they got a safety from the Giants, Xavier McKinney, out of Alabama, too. According to NFL Next Gen Stats, listen to this. McKinney has not allowed a touchdown as the nearest defender since he signed with Green Bay in 2024. Like, Micah, the defense will go as Micah goes, but if you want the quarterback of the defense, I think McKinney might be your guy.
I think why it's Micah for me is just when is he going to be back and what's he going to have when he's back? Because so much of his game is explosiveness. And, with it being the meniscus and the ACL, we're looking at mid-October. Is he going to be the same explosive guy who's, rushing off the edge and terrorizing quarterbacks, or is he going to have lost a step?
Just so we kind of get a. Do I have to put the letter? Okay, I'm trying to find the schedule here. They open at Minnesota. That's a toss-up right now. They go to the Jets, so they get a win. But then the Falcons, Bucks, Bears, Cowboys, Lions. That's in and around like mid-October. You have the Bears, Cowboys. You're definitely going to see the Vikings, Jets, Falcons, and Buccaneers without Micah Parsons. You could find yourself 1-3.
This is just sort of apropos of nothing, but can we start a new segment when the season starts? New York Jets interception watch. Like, can we have a little graphic at the bottom of the screen? Like they do in like hostage situations. Like it's now been 240 days since the last New York Jets interception.
It's been 375 days since the Jets have intercepted a pass. No, yeah, you remind me. That's fun. I like that. Although we're going to get one in week 1, and then it's not going to be fun anymore.
Well, just like the Jets, to make football less fun.
Yeah,
they'll go out and intercept a pass just to ruin our fun.
Yeah, absolute. They would be bums. And just looking at the Jets, just so you know, they open at Tennessee, so Cam Ward definitely on the first drive is throwing a pick.
Well, the ball's in your court, Jets. Aaron Glenn, I know you're watching, dude. So
it's right outside of training camp. You got nothing else to do. The schedule's probably set. They know what they're doing.
I'm going to be very withholding because I know you're just itching to talk about those Bears, but we're going to talk. We have to go alphabetically.
Sure, that's fair.
So, Detroit comes before Chicago in the hair alphabet.
That's absolutely.
So I don't know which way you went with Detroit. I went Penei Sewell. Yeah, I went to maybe the best lineman in football. You can go with any one of the skill guys, but
I wrote down 2 names. I said Detroit's offense goes as the offensive line goes, and Sewell's arguably the best tackle in football. The quarterback is more effective. The running backs are more effective, period. But I think I'm going to go on the other side of the ball here just because I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to go with Aiden Hutchinson. Last year, he led the NFL with 100 quarterback pressures. And if you look at what the Lions did without him in 2024, it's remarkable. You know what the Lions' record in 12 games without Aiden Hutchinson was?
I do not.
11-1. Wow. But it tells you how they had to scheme and they blitzed and they did, as the thing said, creative defensive calls. Aiden Hutchinson makes those creative calls unnecessary, and he makes Dan Campbell's life a lot easier. If Sewell goes down, I don't know how you can keep around that, so he probably is more important. But as far as defensive players goes, I think Hutchinson is like 1B after Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
in a division with quarterbacks like Jordan Love and Caleb Williams and whoever Minnesota's thrown out there, quarterback pressure is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, Hutchinson's a guy when he's healthy, he is right up there with the Garretts and the TJ Watts, like at that level, like elite pass rush.
Scary to block.
Yeah.
Scary to try to block.
All right, let's go to the Bears.
Bears. I am fairly confident that you did not pick who I picked.
I picked Colston Loveland.
Yeah, I didn't pick him. So
yeah.
Defend yourself.
I just think he is a guy who's going to make the leap this year to be like elite.
I love Colston Loveland. I mean, yeah, I'll get.
He was very good last year, but I think he's going to be even better in 2026.
They drafted him. There was a modicum of excitement because Ben Johnson loves himself some tight ends, and we saw what Loveland did at Michigan. So, and he's also he was like the third option with DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. But now that Moore is gone, Luther Burden's got to step up as like the number 2 guy. We'll see if Adunze can make the next level jump. But Colson Loveland and also Cole Kmet to an extent make those options a lot better. Now, I will tell you from personal knowledge, the defense had a really tough time last year. And at draft time, it looked like they were going to address it. Like they drafted Dylan Thieneman from Oregon, the safety. But then Drew Dahlman threw this like curveball at them in the offseason, retiring their all-pro center, and they had to start addressing that as well. They made a trade, and then they started drafting. They drafted Logan Moore, I think his name is, out of Iowa. They drafted a center. Then they started drafting offense again, and like this defense is looking at another season where Montez Sweat is the primary edge rusher, and he had 10 sacks last year, which is fine. But as he gets older, he's less likely to duplicate that. And you look at a year ago, the Bears signed a guy named Dio Odangbo from Indianapolis. They gave him $48 million to play opposite Montez Sweat, and he goes out and gets hurt. He got a sack in the opening game, but then he hurt himself, and then he went the IL or the IR, whatever the NFL calls it. And, he's back, and he's going to battle Austin Booker for the opposite edge spot. Neither one of them are super important because in my head, Ben Johnson is an offensive guy. So everything's going to run through that offense again. They're going to Johnny Asino this season for, better or worse. And if you look at Caleb Williams as a quarterback, what was his biggest problem in 2024? He got sacked 68 times. You can't throw when you're on your back. Last year, the Bears went out and they upgraded the offensive line, and that number got cut in a third. He got sacked 24 times, which is like nothing for him.
Yeah.
So I think with Dahlman retiring, the replacement was the guy they traded for from New England. His name is Garrett Bradbury, who's the new center. He was a former number 1 draft pick with the Vikings, so he knows the division. He has 105 starts. Like, this guy plays. He's a good communicator from what I read. I'm not super pumped about having to spend draft capital on Logan Hayes, or did I write his name down? Logan Jones. On Logan Jones, if you have faith in this Bradbury guy. So I think whoever the center is, I'm going with Garrett Bradbury to start, keeping that continuity along the offensive line to make sure that Williams doesn't get sacked more than 24 times. I think that's more important than a fun fantasy weapon for him. But what do I know?
And you do worry if they can't keep Caleb Williams protected. You do worry. He made a bit of a leap last year, and you do worry. If he would regress or fall back on bad habits if he's running for his life.
There it is. The most important non-quarterbacks in the NFC North. Our next show, which might be in a couple weeks, we'll be in preseason, or at least close to it. We'll wrap up with the NFC East. And this is a fun look at the NFL in the offseason here. We're at that time now, though. And I don't know if you have anybody on the list, but I'm really mad.
Oh, I have someone for my list.
Why don't you go first, because I have to mentally prepare myself, because this is upsetting to me.
So we were talking before we went live. I went to see The Odyssey, which it was wonderful to see. The theater was packed. The lobby was packed when I went to get my ticket. But the downside to that is then I have to be around people. I don't like other people. I like the idea of other people. And so, we're in the theater, and every 10 to 15 minutes, I can see something out of my peripheral in my right eye. There's a guy on his phone.
No, not in the middle of a movie.
But I can only assume because he's doing this, taking pictures of himself during the movie, because he wasn't angling his phone at the screen to take a picture of the screen. I can only assume he was taking pictures of himself watching the movie. So look, guy, I don't know your name. I don't know your backstory. I don't want to know either.
Guy at movie theater.
But I will travel 20 years over ancient Greece to seek my vengeance because you're on the list.
Listen, you go to a theater, and maybe you catch the kid trying to like film the movie. Like Masters of the Universe is on TikTok now.
Yeah.
Like I can watch it there. I don't know,
like
man.
I leave my phone at. I don't even bring my phone to the theater with me. I leave it at home. I want to be. I don't want to get texts. I want to be unavailable for 2 to 3 hours.
Fair. Or in the Odyssey's case, 3 to 4 hours.
Well, it's an Odyssey. You know, it takes a while.
So mine is more national news, and I don't know if you saw this, but I saw it where I get my news. I saw it on TikTok. Western Kentucky senior defensive lineman Victory Vaca has lost his athletic scholarship and has been cut from the program. Now, you might think he was involved in gambling, because that would make sense. Drugs, both. You would be incorrect. Vaca requested permission to return home back in April because his mother had passed away unexpectedly. He asked to stay with his family until June, and the strength and conditioning coach even provided him a home workout plan. Well, Vaca said his position coach called him on May 26th and asked him where he was. The following day, Hilltopper's chief of staff, Travis Taylor, reportedly told Vaca and his agent that Western Kentucky was cutting him and moving on. Due to NCAA rules, Vaca's college football career could now be over. Western Kentucky has canceled Vaca's financial aid and has processed him as a failure to report player, and these players are dismissed for disciplinary reasons. They're not eligible for aid reduction or cancellation exemptions to enter the transfer portal. The NCAA has doubled down and has denied Vaca's legislative relief waiver. Vaca's agent has told CBS Sports, Jefferson added, his agent is named Jaquan Jefferson. He told CBS Sports that multiple FBS schools would be willing to sign Vaca if they could, but they're not allowed to because the NCAA's hands are tied bureaucratically. That is irritating enough. But Western Kentucky did this kid dirty. Failure to report. The head coach, Tyson Helton, and athletic director Todd Stewart did not reply when CBS Sports and Soup and Meatballs reach out with questions, and the NCAA didn't comment on a waiver request. I'm beyond irritated to the point where here is Vaca and his mom, Western Kentucky, Tyson Helton, NCAA, all of you. You're on the list, and you're on a special list. You're on a special section of a list. You're like below the kid who has the new driver doing my best thing. This was did you see this story? It's sickening.
I hadn't seen it, and
absolutely sickening.
I would even just love to see how the university justifies that.
It's NCAA rule. Like, how Western Kentucky reporting him as failure to report was like the catalyst, and when they did it, because the NCAA has their schedule, their timeline, so now the transfer portal is closed or whatever. That is and the fact that they withheld his financial aid, like now he can't even go to college. Like playing football is one thing, but you take the kid's aid away. Oh, because he went home because his mother passed away, and he ran it through the coaches. And like I said, the strength and conditioning coach gave him a home workout. He said, "We'll see you in July." And this story just broke. I saw it last week. Tuesday, I think I saw it.
This is why I can't get too upset. Like when people talk about like players transferring and playing for 4 or 5 schools, because the loyalty doesn't go both ways. Like, why should a player be loyal to a program that would then, do something like this?
I said I saw this and I thought I didn't think I can get more angry. So guess what? All of them on the list.
I hope they go see the Odyssey and the experience is ruined for them.
I hope so too. We're at a point now where I have to try to calm down and enjoy life.
Breathe, center.
I saw something. I'll tell you what, man. I see videos every now and then, and they're sports related, and I've seen a bunch of stuff that it's close to what I'm going to show you, but these kind of videos make me happier. I don't know if the music's going to go through or if it's gonna, but like this is 2 minutes of baseball. These are baseball players just doing cool baseball player stuff. Like, yeah, let's give this kid a hug. Whatever. This is funny. Why do you have a Dodger hat? Get out of here, kid. And the kid is smiling about it. Hey, it's his birthday. Give him a ball. Guess what? He gets a ball. That's cool. This is great. The kid like, and they laugh because what are you gonna do? I remember seeing this. I remember seeing Judge give this kid the ball. That was a couple years ago. And look at, she wants a picture. So guess what? Let's come over and take a picture. And this kid is great. He catches the ball, and look at this. He gives the other ball to the girl. That's amazing. And this guy wants to make a TikTok with Joey Votto making a TikTok with this kid. Amazing. And like, I'll tell you what. Oh, look at this kid doesn't even know him. Bucket list item: catch a foul ball, give it to a kid.
I've seen this one.
No pump. Oh, here, little girl. Man. Western Kentucky can't even like take the good feels away. Hey, I got you. Don't worry about it. That girl is definitely marrying that kid. Amazing catch in here. Here's give it to the girl, probably his sister.
I hope so. That was an intimate hug.
And I love this. Like, hey, you want some? No. Don Mattingly's definitely taking those nachos from him.
Oh, yeah.
The opposite of the Philadelphia Karen. Here, have this ball. That's... I don't remember this guy. There you go. Here you go, little guy. We're sitting next to each other, so we're probably friends. There it is. I love videos of good fans in stadiums like that. How can you not be romantic about baseball, Tim?
I'm a sucker for that, and I'm a sucker for any video of a parent holding a baby and catching a foul ball. Like if you're a dad and you're, especially if you're like if you don't spill the beer, like if there's a dad who's holding a beer and has a kid and you bare hand a foul ball.
Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. That's hard to do. One hand, because those balls are coming hard. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
So, where are we? Come on, Super Meatballs. Cool deal. Quick hitter time. And there are, holy cow, there's a bunch of them. There's 8, and with that comes some videos too. So, number 1, we can get through this. They have a third place game at the World Cup. England had a 4-0 lead. France roars back, wins 6-4. And the big news: Mbappe scores to pass Messi on the all-time World Cup scorers list with his 22nd goal. Messi, I guess, can tie him today. But I wanted to know: is 10 goals a good soccer match?
It's not quality soccer, but it's entertaining soccer. You know, it's like if you see an American football game that's 56-49, like that Chiefs Rams game from a couple of years ago where it was Mahomes and Goff.
Yeah, I always default back to Michigan, Illinois. It was like 65-63.
Yeah,
worst game of my life. And Michigan won. So, number 2, WWE SummerSlam is another 2-day event now for the organization. This year it's being held in Minneapolis, but it appears WWE may have overestimated its ticket selling ability. US Bank Stadium holds 73,000 fans, but here we are close to 2 weeks out of the event. WWE says they've only sold around 25,000. Now, the cheapest tickets are available at $76. The most expensive tickets are in the thousands of dollars each. still well below what the WWE charges for WrestleMania. A couple weeks back, we talked about how, or maybe months back, we talked about how the WWE's move to Netflix and how that might have changed the dynamic. And now with premium events being run through ESPN, I mean, if you're ESPN, how do you spin this obvious lack of interest? What does Stephen A. Smith say? They've tried.
I don't know, but I'll be curious to see if ESPN addresses this at all, because they are 100% in bed with WWE. I can't imagine this will be buried by ESPN.
WWE number 3, the WWE might be trying something interesting by trying to pull in Tom Brady of all people. Apparently, at this Fanatics Fest, he slapped Logan Paul. And Brady has previously appeared on this guy, Paul's podcast, where he called the WWE cute and scripted. He also claimed that wrestlers would not stand a chance if matched up against NFL players. Now, we've seen competitive athletes join the world of pro wrestling. I mean, Steve McMichael made a second career out of being a horseman. Lawrence Taylor headlined WrestleMania. Shaq, Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman is still NWO for life. Do you think Tom Brady would be a good pro wrestling draw?
No.
I'm with you. Why?
Look, and here's the thing. You never need a good reason to slap one of the Pauls, but it's a bummer that, like, I feel like when you're someone of, like, Tom Brady's stature in the game, like, we didn't see Joe Montana breaking up the Mega Powers. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a little beneath Tom Brady to be doing this.
The elitism coming out of you with Tom Brady and Monster, my goodness.
I don't care. I'm on my high horse today.
I think with Lawrence Taylor and Karl Malone, because of the like Lawrence Taylor, because he was so clear. Like, Malone had all the muscles back then. Dennis Rodman was just a weirdo. I think, like, wrestling was
for Brady to be, like, you know, the lead announcer for Fox. He's a part owner of a team, and he's considered the greatest in your sport. And now he's going to be out here getting into beefs with one of the Pauls. Like,
yeah, I'm with you there.
It's trash.
As a good segue from Tom Brady slapping one of the Pauls, have you ever heard of Power Slap the League?
Yeah.
So you know what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to share this video for anybody who doesn't know what Power Slap is. This is absolutely ridiculous. Dude slaps the other dude, and down he goes, and, like, that's all this is. That's all Power Slap is. Fair? Now, the reason I'm showing you this,
it's a well-named league.
The reason I'm showing you this is because I found something maybe more interesting, but on the same level of ridiculousness. This is a video I call running into each other. So that's the punch afterwards. Look at this. They just run, and that's into each other. Run. Boom. Oh no, he got out of the way. There's the collision. Like, this is all they're doing. It's like rugby style. Let me run at you as full steam as I can. Bang. Look at that. How ridiculous is this?
I've never seen this. Is this relatively new?
I don't know. I just saw it on TikTok this week. And I thought to myself, these guys look like big Samoan dudes. That was the one that got me. Like, head to head. Look at the spray of that guy got an elbow to the neck.
I'd be curious, like, what's the strategy? Like, I see some guys stopping and starting or just standing there.
Strategy is don't die.
Yeah.
I remember this is going way back and how smart I am. Do you remember Dave Mason?
Sure.
Big guy, right? And so we're outside Corey Brugger's house, and he suggested we do that. He's like, dude, how about this? I get the ball on one end, you on the other end, we'll just run at each other. And I thought, like, for like half a second before I said, no, No, I don't think that's a good idea at all. Like, I don't even think like if somebody like I don't know, like Eric was a small guy, Perini was a small. Like, if he would have said that, I'd been like, you know, I don't think that's a good idea at all.
Yeah, a lot of these sports just it seems like it's just a room of junior high kids being like, you know, it would be cool.
Exactly. Except these guys are they're massive dudes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the new thing. So power slap and run into each other. Number 5, WNBA time. Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark records the league's first 45-point, 10-assist double-double in a 3-point win over Seattle. Is that a big deal?
Yeah. It was, you know, I didn't get to see the game, but I saw a lot of the clips. It was good stuff. And I think, you know, she's obviously the biggest name in women's basketball. So when she does anything like that, it's good for the sport.
Number 6, Brandon Ayuk is back in the headlines, sort of. Now, the Whiteout's still under contract with San Francisco, but he really, really wants to play with Washington. And his latest strategy is to talk smack on Instagram and social media against the 49ers, the team that he is currently under contract to play with. How does that usually work out for the players?
You know, I don't know that it's the best negotiating ploy.
Not good, Jim. Not good.
Yeah, you know, it's nothing new though. Like, I mean, this is just the 2026 version of T.O. doing sit-ups in his driveway.
There you go. Number 7, police blotter time, Eastern Pennsylvania. Saquon Barkley reportedly had a home break-in over the weekend, and Saquon and his family were in the residence at the time of the incident, but police said thankfully nobody was injured. Here's what got me. The police are asking the public in the area to help them identify those responsible by checking their home security cameras for suspicious activity in the area around 5 in the morning. My question is, wouldn't Barkley, or I guess I should say, shouldn't Barkley have a system of his own in place? I mean, Ring cameras are all over the place, even on the TikTok shop. Like, if you're Saquon Barkley, maybe it's time to up the security a little bit.
Yeah, you know, but I don't know if you want to go down the road of blaming the victim here.
I'm not, but I'm curious as to why he doesn't have.
Why
are the police asking
some kind of? I'm sure he has some kind of surveillance, but I wonder if there's something else that was happening that police are like, you know, trying to, you know, maybe, you know, they just couldn't get a good view from whatever surveillance, you know, Barkley has, and they're hoping, you know, to see something else at a neighboring house.
There you go. Actually, I like that. All right, number 8, tomorrow's day in history, because today's day in history is kind of blah. Back in 1969, Neil Armstrong becomes the first human to walk on the moon. Tim, I guess that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. It's you know, it's wild to think now that we're almost 60 years out from that, and there's a significant portion of the world who thinks that was faked.
We did our conspiracy theory list a while back, and I think the moon landing probably landed on one of our lists that we drafted. Speaking of drafting, hey, what a segue. Draft time. And I got this over the summer. I spend my summers, at least the mornings, binge watching TV shows on either Netflix or Hulu, Tubi, you know, whatever. Shows that were like pretty big back in the day that I didn't watch live or, you know, for whatever reasons didn't hear of. Like some of these I hadn't heard of until I saw clips on TikTok. So I thought it might be interesting if we delve into the world of television media, and we're going to draft who we consider to be the most interesting TV character. So the reason I'm shuffling these is because I need to do something with my hands, I guess. Here we are. Color and number. You know the drill.
I'm going to go 5 black.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is indeed black. 3 of spades is the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. Civil rights passed by Congress June 13th, 1866, ratified July 9, which is just like 10 days ago. 1868, the 14th Amendment extended liberties and rights granted by the Bill of Rights to former slaves. The major provision of the 14th Amendment was to grant citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, thereby granting citizenship to former slaves. So, excellent work by you. You have the number one pick in the draft. I don't think we're going to have a lot of overlap because I think you and I watch different stuff, except for like there's like one or two that there's an overlap.
Yeah, and I definitely overthought like what the word interesting meant for me.
Okay, well, I'll be interested to see what you think is interesting.
So when I first thought of like the word interesting, I had to think about like a character who intrigued me, where I was introduced to this character and I was like, what's this person's deal? And the first thing that came to mind for me was John Locke from Lost.
Oh, so this was the show that I thought there'd be some crossover, and he wasn't the first name that came to mind because a different character spurred this draft idea, but he was one of the first characters I thought of without looking anything up. Because yeah, you're right.
One of the great things about the Lost pilot is one of the great pilots in TV history. Where you see the plane crash and then you get to meet the various people from Oceanic 815. And I think one of the best things is that the show keeps Terry O'Quinn at an arm's length for the first 2 or 3 episodes, where he's just the guy who, has the orange peel in his mouth and gives the creepy smile, and
Yeah. So the first couple episodes when they start doing the character exposition, you meet. Every episode has their like this. We're going to be Kate centric or Sawyer centric. Yeah. When they get to John though,
and then the knives come out.
That's a great way to put it. Over the course of the whole series, though, he doesn't lose the intrigue.
Yeah, he gets the best backstory. Where spoiler alert for a show that premiered, almost 25 years ago now.
Yeah.
But when you find out he's in the wheelchair, and you're like, what is going on with this dude?
I binged it, so I never had to deal with all of the summer memes or conspiracy theories. And yeah, when that was one of those jaw-dropping things, and it took me a couple. I think I've binged it now 4 times. I think around the second time I picked it up better. I love was it to go 7 seasons?
Seasons. I think it went technically 6 seasons.
Well, so whatever the last season was, because he was dead. But he wasn't dead. Like Terry Quinn was still part of the cast, but John Locke was dead. So, yeah. But like the John Locke continuity that he'd always felt like an island leader, but now he was leading, but in a different way. Like he was always pro island, but now because the smoke took just a really cool. Yeah, I'm with you there.
It's a sad irony that he always thought he was this important figure to the island, and John Locke was actually a meaningless cog and only achieved importance when someone else was wearing his face.
It's so sad that you put it that way, but it's right. Yeah, that's a great, a very worthy number 1 overall pick. Someone who has seen that show would most certainly agree with you. The inspiration for the list for me was based on a show I don't think you have seen, and I've told you numerous times you should, because this character, yeah, because this character is amazing. Raymond Reddington. I'm starting to see Reddington TikTok now. I've seen the whole series, and I started binging it up to a certain point in the series where it kind of like around 2020, like they wanted to finish their season, but we were in a pandemic, and they figured out a way to do it. They gave us the season finale through animation. They had all the actors do voiceovers. It was really interesting. After that, though, the series kind of jumps the shark a little bit, because you can only do so much with this character, but he is one of the most amazing, intriguing characters. Semi-spoiler, he's the number one wanted criminal on the FBI's most wanted list. And in the pilot, the very first episode, the very first 5 minutes, he turns himself in. And the reason why he does that becomes evident throughout the first episode, and they build a series out of it. It's amazing to see how Reddington built up a criminal empire. And then at the end, the really weird fan theory about who Reddington is, that just blows my mind even to another extent. So if you get a chance, this is me telling you again, between Wicked and The Blacklist, watch season 1 of The Blacklist. Shit, watch 2 episodes of The Blacklist and say, I don't know if I want to watch the rest of this. It's phenomenal. It really is.
Because I do need a new show now that I finished Widow's Bay.
This is Soup and Meatballs in the World telling you, dude, turn it on.
Where's The Blacklist streaming?
No. Let's not do that. Blacklist streaming. I thought it was on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
10 seasons. Like I said, the first 3 seasons are like OMFG good. The next 5 seasons are still they're watchable. They're fine. After that, like the last 3 seasons are like, I want to see how it ends.
It kind of sounds like Scandal in that way, where like the early seasons of Scandal, I was like, I love this show. Why is everyone not talking about this?
The biggest problem with Scandal, watching it live, the 3-month break, and I would forget stuff. I binged it on Netflix, and I didn't lose anything, and that is a tremendous series.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald Grant is easily the worst fictional president we've ever had. Absolute bitch.
Except that he hooks up with Kerry Washington.
Yeah, listen, I'm as lustful as the next guy, and Kerry Washington is hotter than hot. But as far as presidents go, he sucks. Absolutely. Sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks. And my wife, who thinks the love connection is so awesome, I'm watching it for the political aspect of it. He sucks. He is not on my list. He's on the other list. Fitzgerald Grant.
He's on the blacklist.
He just made the list. Yeah. So Raymond Reddington, check him out.
My number 2 is when you talk about like intriguing TV characters, I think a lot of people would think of this guy right away. It's Don Draper from Mad Men.
And this is a show I know it exists. I kind of sort of know what it's about. I've seen 0 minutes of it.
Yeah, just John Hamm is so good. The show doesn't give you a lot in the first season about who this guy is. And the less it gives you, the more you're like, what is this guy's deal? I almost don't want to tell you too much in case you ever dive into Mad Men, which is, I don't know if you have HBO.
I do not.
Okay, because it's streaming.
We've toggled HBO on and off, but it's more off than on.
So, and I guess we're safe to go into spoiler territory where, like in season 1, like he seems like the master of the universe, where he's the creative director at this big New York ad agency. But, there are these hints around the edges. Like people are like, oh, look, it's Dick Whitman. You're like, wait, no, his name's Don Draper. And here you find out that he stole someone's identity in the Korean War. And then that just leads to more questions.
I dig that. All right. How many seasons did Mad Men go?
7.
So okay. So that's an average run now.
Yeah, it's not like The Blacklist where it's like a network show. It does 13 episodes a season. So
okay.
They're only like 60-some, 70-some episodes, something like that.
But I mean, these they're probably over an hour though, right? They're like 50-minute episodes. Like, are they?
Yeah, they're because it aired on AMC, so it's like 50 minutes plus like what would have been commercials when it was on
Blacklist was about a 50-minute show, and you can get commercials.
It's going to be the same as The Blacklist, but much fewer episodes.
Okay, that works, man. So my number 2 is I'm going to go to a show that I believe we both seen, but Jen has finally asked. She's like, "Do you want to start watching it?" And it's such a really great show, and it's hard for it's not really character driven as much as it's story driven, at least in my head. But of all the characters, I always thought that Leo McGarry was the the cog that kind of kept the entire White House going, with petulant children, Toby and Josh, and a president who was phenomenally like, he's an economics Nobel laureate, but Leo kept things running, and he had a great story about the guy who fell in the hole, and that always kind of stuck with me. He's like, this guy's in the hole, and the doctor goes by and he writes a prescription, and somebody the priest comes by and he says a prayer, but then his best buddy just jumps in the hole with him. He's like, dude, what are we doing? And now we're both in the hole. But his friend's like, yeah, but I've been here before and I know how to get out.
Yeah,
and like that's just good stuff. And then when the actor who John Spencer, when John Spencer in real life passed away, that kind of triggered a change in the way The West Wing was written the last couple seasons. And the episode named, I saw it, Requiem, and I remember seeing it for the first time. Amazing television when you start to like connect with a show and like it becomes part of your everyday. Like it's not like I don't know these people. Bradley Whitford doesn't know me from you, but you start to sort of feel like you're with them through this whole adventure. And when something like that happens, like it's an emotional trigger. But I always thought his character was, like I said, interesting in that he kept the world running.
Yeah, I do enjoy The West Wing a lot. I like Leo as a character, and I think what I like about Leo is how you can tell the other characters so badly want his acceptance. He's like a surrogate father where they just want his love and praise that he doesn't always give. And when the people around the White House, if they let him down, he's not shy about letting them know it either. Yeah, Leo. I also enjoy when we get the Santos campaign and Leo's role in the Santos campaign as well.
Yeah, that'll be good stuff. Jen and I might not get there till Christmas, at the rate by which we watch TV shows. But I'm excited that she's going to get a chance to see this. I think she'll enjoy it. It's a good show.
I'm going to bring up someone who, I loved the Sherlock Holmes stories when I was a kid. I love all the variations on Sherlock Holmes. And so Gregory House being a version of Sherlock Holmes is right up my alley. So Gregory House, House as a show could be very formulaic, obviously. But just seeing how he would respond in different situations what made that show so entertaining for as long as it was.
So that's another show I haven't seen, but I see enough clip. It's on Apple TV. I'm just looking it up. Disney Plus, Hulu. Like that might be a show that I would start to watch.
I think you would love it.
I think I would too. I mean, I decided for whatever reason, like the show I'm in now, I'm in season 4 of Desperate Housewives. But yeah, that's the clips I see on TikTok are they're interesting enough that it probably should be on my next list.
Yeah, it's a crime that Hugh Laurie never won an Emmy for playing House. Just one of the great TV performances, especially from the old like network TV days. Just a great performance, great character. The show was a lot of fun.
It was a medical show. It was at the same time period as what was the big one that George Clooney was in on NBC?
ER.
Was it around that same time?
Well, ER was on for so long that yes, they overlapped.
Okay.
But like ER started in 94 and House was like 04, 05, like it ran from like 04 to like 2010 or 2011.
It overlapped with Grey's Anatomy then too.
Yes.
Okay.
But very different shows in that it's these obscure medical cases that find their way to his hospital, and he spends an hour trying to figure out what's going on with this person while other stuff is happening in his orbit.
Fair. And I like how you compared it like to Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
It made me think. Didn't make my list, but like I really loved what they did with the show Elementary. That was a fun show to watch.
Yeah, and House. I mean, even the name, like House and Holmes, and he has, Holmes has Watson, and there's Dr. Wilson, whose house is kind of sounding board, and Holmes smoked opium, and House has his Vicodin.
I love it.
So
I'll tell you what, it made it will certainly make the short list of things that I will certainly look into. My number 3, I don't know if you ever saw the show White Collar. I think White Collar was a USA show.
Yeah, I have not watched it.
So last year's TikTok clips made me think, okay, I watched White Collar last summer. So the idea is this character, Neil Caffrey, my number 3 draft pick, he's a con man who's in prison, and the FBI's white collar unit basically gets him out. I think he escapes, but they catch him, and as part of a deal they make, Neil Caffrey becomes a special agent, but he's not a special agent, but he thinks he acts like a special agent, but he kind of helps the FBI catch these people, but he cons them. Like, so he still kind of does his thing. Once you watch The Blacklist a couple episodes, you'll kind of see a connection between Caffrey and Raymond Reddington, actually, because they're both helping the FBI while still maintaining weird criminal empires. It's kind of strange. Let me see here. White Collar lasted, how many seasons did it get? Come on now. It got 6 seasons, so there's 81 episodes. It was a good show to watch over the summer, but if you ever get a chance to watch it, the FBI agent's wife is someone familiar. It's Kelly Kapowski.
Oh, okay. I was like, you can't just leave me in suspense like that.
Oh no, it's so interesting to see Tiffany Thiessen as a different actress. She does a much better job as this character than Elizabeth Berkley did in her movie debut.
And so I don't know where the USA shows are streaming. Is that on Hulu?
This one, you would think that it would say here on the Wikipedia page. It does not. White Collar. I think it was streaming on Hulu. White Collar streaming. Yeah, that's on Hulu.
Okay.
I don't know how, like, when I tell you the Blacklist pilot will drag you in, like, that got me. I watched White Collar, and I think I was just going to watch it because it was interesting. I don't know how awesome the pilot was, but I know Neil Caffrey as a character, just everything he does is just amazing to watch. It's really cool.
Okay. I just from hearing you talk about them, I think I would get more into the Blacklist.
That's fair. That mean you have nothing going on. Let's watch them both.
My number 4. I'm going to go with someone. I've talked about this character before when we've talked about TV stuff, just because I feel like we went to high school with guys like this. It's Dwight Schrute.
Oh, wow.
Because the fact that he's like a nerd / wannabe tough guy, like he sees himself as like this, like, especially in the early seasons, like, the deputy, like volunteer deputy sheriff, like he sees himself as like the authority figure and like the rule of law.
Yeah.
But like I just feel like we knew. I have a very specific guy in mind when I say this, by the way.
When we hit end stream, I just wrote a name down. So
okay,
not one of who I would consider in our friend group.
Yeah, so. Right. Not someone who was in our friend group, but someone we both knew from high school. Who, when I watched The Office, and because I watched The British Office, and I was like, oh, are they just going to copy? Like, is that going to like copy over like these British types? And like Dwight is such a American type but like he feels very specific to northeastern Pennsylvania. I think because of this person who I'm thinking of.
Shirt Farms. No, I didn't write him down, but I will certainly not argue as far as interest goes. His little mini rivalry with Jim, what he ever saw in Angela, I'm not sure, but that's a Dwight thing. The way he sets up Steve Carell's only line in the series finale is, it's nice. What's weird is like the mega power, like the opposite, like the Jim and Schrute like became buddies later. That was interesting. Is a good way of putting it. The first that when you say Dwight Schrute to me, the visual I get is him with a blowtorch on the door handle and the look. The way they did the whole fourth.
Breaking the fourth wall
for the wall. I'm like, it's not the fourth level. What am I talking about? Yeah, the way they did that was really cool with him. Dwight's we could have a whole show on The Office. We could draft Office characters. My number 4. I got a lot of places to go here, but I'm going to go with a guy from a show I just finished. And you said you had gotten through like the first 3 episodes and you weren't really a big fan. After like the second season, I was kind of like, well, I'm invested now, so I should probably finish Sons of Anarchy. Of all the characters in that show, I was angry with a lot of them, but I never got angry at Bobby Munson. The guy with the big curly hair. I liked him enough that I thought I could hang out with this guy. Like I could become a biker just to hang out with Bobby. Because he was just, he always felt like, he would do dirty work. He would, do the illegal stuff. But at the end of the day, I think he was just down looking for buds to drink a beer at the bar with.
It's funny because I heard so many good things, especially about the early seasons of Sons of Anarchy. But I don't know that I ever watched it.
When I got into it, I thought you said you saw 3 episodes and it died out for you.
No, like I know it's on Hulu.
I mean, I wouldn't suggest watching that ahead of Blacklist or White Collar, quite honestly. But Bobby's a good character.
Okay.
And what they do with him later, as he becomes a sympathetic figure, and his arc is interesting because all these guys are big, tough bikers. Actually, Tig is another one who has an even weirder character arc. What happened? Something happens to him that's just mind-bogglingly, unbelievably painful that I don't want to even think about. But Bobby, 3 years from now when you watch Sons of Anarchy, it might make sense.
So check out that podcast in 2029. My number 5, I have a full list of people here.
I have a couple left. So
yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but 3 of them are from the same show. I was trying to do 1 per show.
If I remember right, you didn't really get into The Sopranos.
I did. So when we tried to watch it on DVD, it didn't click for us for whatever reason. When we had HBO, because they said we're off and on, I did decide I binge watched it, and I enjoyed it. As far as characters go, I mean, let's see who you pick first.
So I'm not saying this is the best character. I'm saying it's the character who's most like intriguing to me. Again, because he feels like a guy I could have known in Hazleton. Is Paulie Walnut.
Hey!
Oh!
Yeah, no, he would have been my favorite character of all of them.
Yeah. He's just like so many contradictions where he's like this cold-blooded killer, but he's this weird germaphobe. Like his loyalties, it's really hard to pin down. Like he loves his mother until something happens in the later seasons where you're like, where then he doesn't.
His on and off again father-son relationship with Chris.
Yeah.
That's interesting to watch that dichotomy.
Yeah. Did you get through the whole show?
Oh yeah, I saw the whole thing.
Okay, so like It's very true. Like when Chris dies, and Paulie describes himself as being a Dutch uncle to Chris. Like, but also there are several times where it was plausible that he was going to murder Chris.
Yeah. And I don't have I have one run through of it. My recollection of that series is more along with characters that irritated me, like Jackie Aprile and
Jackie Jr.,
Tony's daughter or Tony's sister. I can't remember her name.
Janice.
Oh God, Janice needed to get whacked so much earlier.
And it's funny because he has two sisters, but it's really only Janice who makes it, because Barbara barely registers. She only shows up a handful.
Who is Steve Buscemi's character?
Tony Blundetto.
I don't think I liked him either. I think he did stuff.
It's funny because the Steve Buscemi season is my favorite season 5.
You know, I mean, John didn't do 20 years in the can for Janice to piss me off as much as she did. So that Paulie Walnuts is that's a great pick. And honestly, it's almost a crime that he lasted till the 5th round here. So for me, I'm torn between 2 names, actually 3 names. The other names are just kind of stuck there. But I'm going to go with this name just because of the show, and it's my favorite show of all time. How can I not pick somebody from Lost? I'm going to pick Richard Alpert because as far as characters with intrigue goes, I think it might have taken me into the 4th season before I really figured out what the hell, what is this guy? The guy who comes over on the slave ship, and then it was the ship, and then he makes the deal with the devil, allegedly.
He's there when Locke is born, and you're like, what?
Now, as far as other Lost characters, I wrote down Ben Linus because the intrigue of his introduction and then his babyface turn is fine. Desmond Hume, I think might be one of my favorite characters. He's just amazing. But as far as intrigue goes and interesting, I'm going to go with Richard Alpert, I think, and I feel good about it.
Yeah, Richard's a good one, and that's another one where, like, the same way that I'd said with like Locke, where the show kind of kept him at arm's length for a while at the beginning. For someone who was a major character for 2 or 3 episodes, they didn't really give you a lot about him. It was the same with Richard, where he would pop up 3 or 4 times a season. You'd be like, this guy looks the same. What's I thought we were in the 1950s. Why does he look exactly the same?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 other names that I could list. Do you have any honorable mentions that didn't get free agents?
I have another one from The Office, who's a divisive character. But speaking of the blacklist, Robert California.
Oh, he's so awesome.
I have Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. I have. Did you watch Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, I have a Friday Night Light character on my list.
I have Matt Saracen from Friday Night Lights on my list.
I have Tim Riggins. But yeah, Saracen's little character arc, the backup QB. Yeah, Tim Riggins just had the
smoldering, troubled alcoholic.
And then he later on he does other stuff, but he gets into coaching, I think. I like Tim Riggins. And he had a cool cowboy collar, so that was the other thing for me. I can't relate to starting quarterbacks.
That's a show I'd like to rewatch. Friday Night Lights. Yeah. I fell hard for that show when it was on. Every Friday I was.
That was a summer show that I streamed a couple years ago.
Yeah, I used to. I would either watch it live or I'd catch up with it on my. I'd stream it on my laptop.
Have you ever seen Suits?
No, and I know during the pandemic, everyone was going crazy for Suits. They were
interesting show when it first came out. Mike Ross is one of the main characters. Interesting in that, he is basically a relative genius. He reads something, he memorizes it. It's amazing. Another legal type show, Boston Legal, and another James Spader character, Alan Shore.
Awesome. Oh, okay.
When Alan Shore tells off the Supreme Court, that's That's a good clip. Even if you never watched the show, if you look up on TikTok, Alan Shore versus Supreme Court, it's funny to watch.
I think I've seen that clip.
Have you ever seen Californication?
Oh, the David Duchovny. I've never seen it, but I know of it.
Much older show. Hank Moody, the character that David Duchovny plays, very, very interesting as far as characters go. So he was the last person on the list in case that you had picked, Bobby Elvis in a show you haven't seen before.
I mean, there's a chance I could have taken Richard Alpert. I think that was the only show that we really overlapped on, though.
Or I didn't have any Office characters down or Sopranos characters. I've seen those at least, but yeah, Mad Men and House, they were safe. And you didn't take any West Wing characters, but again, like that really wasn't a character driven show. And the other three you hadn't seen, so this is just my excuse to tell you to watch the Blacklist again, really. So when we're done here in a couple minutes, like 30 or 40, just get on Netflix and go.
I think of the shows that you mentioned there, I could see myself, because I do need a new show.
There you go. So, and if you're out there watching and you need a show, pick one. Just don't pick Sons of Anarchy before Blacklist, I guess.
Fair.
Top 5 time. And this was, I think you came up with this kind of sort of, and I wanted to make sure we knew what we were drafting, what we were top 5ing, because there's a little bit of similarity there.
Yeah. And it's funny because you had texted me about the interesting characters, and I had texted myself like the day before about like, oh, we should do either drafting or top 5 of movie series, like our favorite movie series. And I told you, like, for this, it was just like a character had to have appeared in multiple movies.
Oh, okay. I went with like movie franchises, but that fits the bill.
Yeah,
it works. And yeah, I have 10 in case you wanted to draft these two.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the Constitution. You're not going to go to prison if you didn't meet my very vague definition.
Go to prison, Ben.
We're not going to take away your funding, Western Kentucky.
Do you know who said that? And it's from a movie franchise. Someone's got to go to prison, Ben. Make my list because there's only 2 of them. Should have been a third.
I don't know if I know.
National Treasure.
Oh, I've never seen any of the National Treasure movies.
After you watch the Blacklist pilot, watch National Treasure.
National
Treasure. The second one is like, it's fine. But the first one it's good stuff, I think. But yeah, and I wrote down, earlier in the week we lost Sam Neill, best known for playing Dr. Alan Grant in Jurassic Park, one of the best movie series. That might make one of our lists. I know it would have made Roseanne's list. It's probably her number 1.
Yep.
But you let off the draft. I'm gonna do the top 5, and here's the thing. Like I said, I have 10 of these. So in no discernible order. I'm not going to rank these because that would be awful. But I will say of these, probably my favorite is the Indiana Jones series franchise. When we heard we were getting the 4th, it was like super exciting. And I'll tell you what, I didn't hate Crystal Skull. I think we've talked about this before. The 5th one, even when they start dabbling in time travel and he goes back and he talks to, was it Archimedes or like, I could get behind that, but Raiders and Last Crusade are among my top 10 favorite movies, period. And so coming from the same series, that makes sense that this would be my number 1 series.
So Indy is also in my top 5. So I can talk about it right now. Raiders of the Lost Ark is probably one of my 10 favorite movies of all time. And it's amazing that like Last Crusade is almost as good. Like it's
rare.
Yeah. Temple of Doom for me is a little bit of a step down.
Big step down from Raiders and Crusade. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a terrible movie when I saw it the first time. I mean, Molaram has become kind of funny, and like to hear Pasco say "Kaliba Shupti Day" is still one of the most funny things you could ever get. But like,
yeah,
anything would be a step down from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah,
unless they followed it with Last Crusade, which would have been like really weird.
And I will be an apologist for the movie Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I apologist isn't even the right word. I unapologetically enjoy that movie. If it, only because it gave us the line, I want you to tell me what I'm guilty of other than surviving a nuclear explosion.
Oh my
Which is
god! So
just such a fantastic and funny and like knowingly, like just tongue in cheek, just fantastic stuff.
I got to call timeout on movies here for a second and go back to TV shows. Have you seen Shrinking?
Yeah.
It's on Apple TV. So like the Harrison Ford character in Shrinking feels a lot like Crystal Skull Indiana Jones. Like
It kind of feels like they're just rolling the camera and they're like, "Don't tell Harrison." And he's like,
I
"The
think
coffee's
that's
not
what he's
good
like
today."
in real life. Like, yeah, I'm down for grumpy Indiana Jones all the way.
Yeah.
So,
Indiana Jones is actually. I was watching Last Crusade the other day, and it is what inspired me to say about best movie series.
fair. So give us the second one then. This was on your list.
So, I'm sure this will be on your list too. The Godfather is The Godfather.
Oh, you know what? So I like Godfather 1 and 2, but 3 was.
Three shaky, but 3 has its moments where it's good, but it also has its moments where.
So amazingly, of the 10, I did not write The Godfather down. I'm a terrible person.
Wow. Yeah, well, because the original Godfather's a top 5 movie for me.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I know there are some people who think the second one's better than the first. I'm not one of them, but the second one is a great movie.
The second one, I needed 3 or 4 watches to figure out what the heck was going on. The first time I watched, I didn't know if I was watching present day or past. I had a hard time following continuity.
It's funny, for as much as I love seeing Michael Corleone do his thing, I think the better part is the De Niro, the young Vito parts.
But in terms of Godfather 1's another one. Like I mentioned this a lot, but when I start scrolling, you see these little mini clips, and what bugs me is like when the clip ends, it was like I want to keep watching.
Yeah,
I want to keep going. Like there's a lot of scenes like that, especially in the original one, where that's
the original Godfather is the best example of a 3-hour movie where you don't realize 3 hours went by.
Because it doesn't.
You start with Connie's wedding, and before you know it, Michael's taken down the heads of the 5 families during the baptism.
After he's in Italy for a couple days, and solid choice, absolute fair number 2. So my number 2 will be something on the same scale of epicness, but it hits a little closer to home because Derek loves it so much. I'm going to go with Star Wars, and I'll say I'll format it to the original 3 trilogy, so episode 4, 5, and 6. What they did after that, money grabbing, storytelling aside, is fine. But the original trilogy was among the best 1, 2, 3 shot I think you could get.
So Star Wars is on my list and would be the first one I mentioned if it was just New Hope and Empire and Jedi. I did, kind of drop it down my list a little bit because
we saw Jar Jar Binks.
Well, there's just so much now that it can't all be good, and they've really beaten the horse a little bit. I truly wonder
on Disney.
I truly wonder if we're at a point where they're going to try to film a remake of A New Hope, like with a new Luke and a new Leia and a new Han.
They kind of sort of did that with The Force Awakens.
Well, yeah, J.J. Abrams, you're right. But there's so much good even outside of the original trilogy between Rogue One. I really enjoy Last Jedi.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. You're on an island there.
Yeah, I'm on an island drinking purple alien cow milk.
That's so foul. Everything you just said is wrong, Tim.
But yes, and I obviously like you'd said, the personal connection you have. I'm gonna throw in. So now between The Godfather, Indy, and Star Wars, that's 3 off my list. So
I know
I'm
another one on your list. You might as well go to it now.
What's that?
I know another one that's on your list. You might as well go to that one right now.
The MCU?
Oh no, okay, so that's fair. So I know the other one then. So the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is how many movies does this entail?
It's like 35 movies now, more.
So insane. Then we have Avengers Doomsday coming up when, in December? Is that the Christmas one?
We have Spider-Man Brand New Day coming up in 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, and it's funny that I was just dinging Star Wars for too much content when the MCU between the Disney Plus series, almost 40 movies. There's just so much that it can feel like homework. But
I wonder how if you were to add up the minutes of Star Wars content versus MCU content, Star Wars still has to have it beat because it's got 2 animated series, it's got all of the Andor,
there's no way.
Kenobi, all the fluff.
The MCU would have it beat because the MCU has animated series. Because there was X-Men 97, there was the Spider-Man series, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
It's got 35 feature-length movies.
Right. Some of which are 3 hours or close to it. Between Infinity War and Endgame.
I forget. So Derek and I started watching it. And I remember asking Roseanne, what is the order I should watch it in? I want to know the Star Wars 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. I want to know the order so it makes sense. And she sent us this graphic, and we started watching, but it was one of those things where he never asked me, he's like, hey, you want to watch the next one? He's asked me, can we watch the next Star Wars? Can we do this? So, it's not, I don't think he didn't dislike it. It just didn't hit with him so hard. And I was the same way. I was like, all right, I can watch this. It's fine. But I never fully immersed myself into the story as much as you apparently did.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the next Spider-Man.
But what's strange is Derek, when he was 10 or something, all he wanted was a Thanos Infinity Gauntlet, a real one.
Yeah.
So we got him the big thing and had the hands, and you squeeze it and it makes noise. So that's a solid pick. So for my my third one, I'm going to go to one that probably doesn't get a lot of love because people didn't like 2 and 3. I liked 2 and 3 a lot. I thought 4 was we didn't need this. I like the Matrix movies. And a couple watches into 2 and 3, I started being able to follow the storyline a lot better. I've only seen the Matrix 4, that HBO little release. I saw it once, and it was like, I'm going to pretend this didn't happen.
Yeah.
But 1, 2, and 3, as far as weird ninja sci-fi karate movies, all that aside, I thought it was a really good story.
It's funny. I never really got into the Matrix movies.
You're not alone. I guess it was a niche thing back in the 90s, early 2000s. I thought it was neat, and the story behind it. A lot of these, we're going to try to save the world, and the hero who, at the end, sacrifices himself for the world. It worked for me. It was cool, and I've long had this weird fantasy that I wish I had a slot in the back of my head where I could just put a book. 20 seconds later, I know everything. And that's one of the things in the movie where they're in the Matrix and here, watch this. He puts a cassette tape in. 3 seconds later, Keanu Reeves is like, I know Kung Fu. I would welcome that form of education.
It makes me want to, after watching The Blacklist, of course.
Watch The Blacklist first.
Go back and rewatch the original movie.
And I think what they did with 2 really builds on 1. One is a good standalone. If that was all we ever got, it would have been fine. But I think 2, and then 2 ends in a way that I think your next selection is going to end. That really you need a 3rd, if that makes sense.
So now I'm curious. What do you think my next selection is?
Back to the Future.
That's in my sort of honorable mention list.
Oh, wow. I thought Back to the Future was like one of your favorite movies.
The Back to the Future absolutely is, but I went with the Rocky series.
Oh, okay. You know what? I saw a picture of this too. Somebody ranked the Rocky movies, and so like, what's the best Rocky movie?
I personally feel like Creed might be a hair better than the original Rocky.
Okay. So the original, this guy ranked the original Rocky as his second best Rocky. He said Rocky 4 was the best.
So Rocky 4 is obviously like super cheesy, but it's a lot of fun.
From a whole story standpoint, with the music too, that whole soundtrack was a banger from 1 to 10.
I like how you're like with the music, as if the movie isn't basically a 2-hour music video.
It is.
It's not a lot of story. We get one fight, we get a training montage, we get Stallone driving fast because his friend died, so he's sad driving through Philadelphia or whatever.
Another music video.
Yeah, then we get more training because he's got a military press a plow in the fields of Siberia or whatever.
You're right. Rocky 4 could have been on MTV.
It's like a rock opera.
There you go. But no, yeah, Creed is a good movie too.
It's a Rocky opera. we just invented a new genre.
With one movie.
But yeah, between like what we've gotten now from like Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan with the Creed movies, with the originals, I just the movies vary in quality, but they're always enjoyable on some level, except for Rocky 5.
Yeah. Oh. Well, every good franchise, I think, has that one movie that's like, what are we doing here? So that's your 5, I guess, right?
That's my 5.
That's your 5. So I only have 3. I only announced 3. I will say Back to the Future made my list as far as all that stuff goes, and I think what really makes it just one little blip in Back to the Future 2 at the very end when they pan up and it says "to be concluded," and like, because it's always to be. I've never seen that in a movie or a TV show before. So to be concluded, like that one little bit was like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's movies that have what I call forced tension. Like they want you to believe like, oh, the main character's in trouble when like Marty's getting back to 1985. Like the whole like Doc up at the clock. He's like, oh no, they're not. That kind of forced tension wasn't. They didn't drag it out. It wasn't 32 minutes of a pod race that you knew the aftermath to.
Right.
But I think Back to the Future 2 gave us all that fantasy we all had. Like, what would we do with the Gray Sports Almanac? Like, and I think that book only went up to 2020, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
that was what the future was back in Back to the Future 2.
And it's funny because like all 3 of the Back to the Future movies, like really are a lot of fun, and they get to tackle different, like the the first one gets to take you back to the 50s a little bit, and you get the nostalgia there. The second one's like a weird dystopian sci-fi movie in the far off year of 2015. You can imagine.
Were they too far off with what they said? I mean, here you're in Bloomsburg, I'm in Chambersburg. We're talking on a computer screen right now. Broadcast to the world. That's
the Cubs did win the World Series.
They did. We just don't have Jaws 4000 yet. Where I guess they're working on that.
In the third one, you get a fun little Western.
And I like how they incorporate the same kind of characters, like the Tannen family, being like the bullies in all of the antagonists, whatever you want to call it, in all of the movies in some way, shape, or form. The name Buford is just straight Wild West too. Like nobody's named Buford anymore.
I like the little like time travel Easter eggs. Like you have the Twin Pines Mall, and then he runs into the tree, and now it's the Lone Pines Mall.
Yeah, so I had that on my list, and of the others, I'll put this on the full list, and this one is if you just watch 1, 2, and 3, you're in good shape. You don't have to watch 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, X, or whatever the other version was. I think as a franchise, Saw is entertaining and interesting up to a point. After that, it becomes, torture porn. Like, yeah, how are they going to kill the guy this time? But if you just see Saw 1 as a standalone, it's less horror movie than it is psychological thriller. Like, it's almost on a parallel with 7. You don't see all the death and destruction, you hear about it. Yeah. And how these people get into the situation they're in, how they get out of it. So just as a standalone, it was fine. Saw 2 was actually not supposed to be a Saw movie. The director was like, well, we need a sequel. I see this script. We'll just rewrite some of this. Bada bing, bada boom. We got a sequel. And they wrapped it up nicely with 3, but then they just kept making them. They kept churning them out. And this was actually one, believe it or not, Jen actually got into. She used to like Halloween, going to see the movie every year.
Huh.
Wouldn't have thought that, would you?
That is surprising information.
Have you seen any of the Saws?
I have not.
Like I said, 1 is fine. You could stop there. So Blacklist, Saw, and then Wicked.
That's quite a list. That's quite
these next 2 weeks that I'm off at my game convention. You have some stuff you can do.
A lot of different tones being hit by the selections on that list.
It's like the playlist we used to have in the Granada.
My honorable mention list, I have the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight movies.
That made my list, so cool.
Back to the Future, which we'd mentioned. I enjoy the Bond movies. Some are better than others, but I enjoy a good James Bond movie. And I didn't get into Hannibal, the TV series. I didn't watch it, but the Hannibal Lecter, whenever he pops up in a movie, I loved Silence of the Lambs. Manhunter, it's Brian Cox playing Lecter. And then you have like Red Dragon and Hannibal.
Dragon, that is Manhunter.
What's that?
Isn't Red Dragon like a rehash of Manhunter?
Yeah. So you had Manhunter, which was, I believe, 1986.
Made for TV movie, I think.
No, it was a theatrical release. It's Michael Mann. And it's William Peterson plays Will Graham and Brian Cox is Lecter. And then you got kind of like a remake where it's called Red Dragon, where now Edward Norton was Will Graham and Hopkins was Lecter again.
That I like that. That was a good movie. Again, forced tension at the end, but then whatever. I liked Hannibal. I liked the second one.
Yeah,
they got rid of Jodie Foster and replaced her with Julianne Moore. It's fine. The scene with Ray Liotta at the end, like that was your oh shit, like oh my gosh, what are they doing? That's cool.
Yeah, and it's funny because Hannibal Rising.
That one got kind of cheesy.
Yes.
M for Misha. Like, come on. What are we doing? But it was anything Hannibal Lecter I would get into, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So
any others?
No, those were all my honorable mentions.
The other ones I like the X-Men movies, like the just X-Men.
Yeah, the Fox X-Men movies.
Yeah, Ocean's 11, 12, and 13.
Those are good movies.
I didn't know if I think I saw Ocean's 8, but it wasn't like 11, 12, and 13 were good. Ocean's 13 is one of those movies that if I'm watching it on TV, Jen walks by, she's like, "Oh God, it's your favorite movie again." It's a movie when Jen and I were dating. I made her watch Planet of the Apes, and I thought she's gonna love this. She's gonna love this. She hated it.
The Charlton Heston original.
Yeah.
So good, Jen.
But so I had to watch this. I watched the second one, and I'm like, this is awesome. And I realized there was a whole DVD series of it. And I watched all of them. That is as cool as it gets. Now they rehashed a lot of. I haven't seen any of the remakes.
I haven't either.
I saw Planet of the Apes, the first one, where at the end, instead of spoiler alert, they're on Earth. Instead of the Statue of Liberty, they see the Lincoln Memorial with an ape face on it. Yeah, that's the big reveal at the end. And then the other one was just actually on TV yesterday. We fell asleep to it. Men in Black was pretty good. Men in Black 2, I think I liked more than Men in Black. And believe it or not, if I'm in the right mood, Men in Black 3 is phenomenal. They handle time travel really well.
See, I've only watched the original. I didn't see any of the sequels, but I enjoyed Men in Black.
Yeah. And then I think there was just 1, 2, and 3. I don't think they delved into a fourth. So
Give it.
give it time. Give it time. Will Smith needs money. Oh, an excellent top 5. A really good look in the world of entertainment here in the summer. Hi there, little girl. Come here. Come here. Say hi. Please. You're out. You're live to the world now. What do you want to say to people?
Hi.
Just hi. And she brought me a gummy worm.
Oh.
Hey, do me a favor. Tell mommy these Jolly Ranchers are phenomenal and the world agrees with me.
How's the gummy worm?
Gummy. It's gummy, but it's going to take a minute. It's like a chawl over here. Okay. Oh, it's good. I like gummy stuff, but not as much as that Jolly Rancher. Let's get that straight. All right, Mr. Smarty Pants time. Are you ready?
I am. I have 2 lists for you.
I have a question and maybe 2 lists. I don't know. I have a bunch of stuff written down here. None of it's good. Earlier we talked about with movies and Sam Neill's passing, his connection with Jurassic Park the movie. Well, the movie was based on Michael Crichton's novel. Do you know how much Universal Pictures paid Michael Crichton for the rights to the novel?
Oof.
This would have been back in, we'll give you, so Jurassic Park, the movie, was 1993.
Yeah.
Say that like he was like, oh yeah, I had to look it up.
I'd have to imagine there was a bidding war because he was prolific and a lot of his movies got adapted, like from the Andromeda Strain on. I'll say something like early 90s, big money for bidding on his script. I'll say $3 million.
Oh, you have gone over. $2 million.
Ah.
Hey, that's close enough, though. Okay. List. Well, it looks like I have 3 lists. So I'll do a list, you do a list, and we'll go back and forth like this.
All right. Dueling lists.
List number 1. The Major League Baseball All-Star Game was just held in Philadelphia for the 5th time, moving it into a 4-way tie for 4th place of all time. Can you name the 3 cities ahead of Philadelphia and the 3 cities that Philadelphia is now tied with?
Chicago.
Chicago is number 2 on the list. They have had 7 All-Star games.
New York.
Number 1. They've had 9.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles does not make the list.
I was trying to think how we would handle like Anaheim. Los
Angeles has 3. And I don't see Anaheim on the list. So when did Anaheim have it? You remember the year?
I don't. I'm just trying to think of cities that.
Oh, I lied. No. Oh, shoot. No, Anaheim's right. Los Angeles and Anaheim both have 3, so they split them. Okay. If you put them together, they would have 6. But the list here on Wikipedia does not do that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of cities that have multiple teams or have had multiple teams.
Fair.
What about Cincinnati?
Cincinnati is on the list of teams that Philadelphia is now tied with. They had 5.
I'll give you that one. How about Atlanta?
Atlanta is on neither list. Atlanta has had 3, but both of them fairly recently, 2000 and 2025.
Yeah. How about Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh had one recently. They also have 5. Oh, so they were a team I didn't write down. So I don't know why, because I'm a terrible person. But 2 of them in our lifetime, 94 and 2006. 5 total. So that counts.
I don't know that Boston has hosted that many. I know 99, but I think the big deal with 99 was that it had been so long.
They had one in 1936, the aforementioned 1946, and 1961. So they've only had it 4 times. They are not on the list.
Okay. So how many do I still need?
Well, I'm going to give you. So Philly's on the list. I'm going to give you those. You need 3 of them. One that has more, and then 2 that are tied.
How about Milwaukee?
They have 3.
Okay. Well, I could probably keep naming cities.
The one ahead of the one ahead of Philadelphia has had 6, 3 of them in our lifetime. One of them in a year in which we graduated.
So 97 or over. I can't remember who hosted. Was it Arlington? Like Texas?
No, Texas is not on the list.
Houston?
We do not have a problem. Houston, it's another 3-bagger. So it was 97. I think it was the first year of this stadium. I forget when this field opened up, but it was like super new.
Was it the Jake?
Yeah, there it is. Jacobs Field opened in 1994. It's Cleveland. Cleveland has had it 6 times.
I was trying to remember who hosted 90. I remembered it was 3 Rivers in 94. I couldn't remember 95 or 96. Ugh.
So then the teams that are tied, you've got to go back to like the very first All-Star game this city held was in 1940. And then they most recently held it in 2009.
I don't know it.
That would be St. Louis. And then the other team, the other city, the first one they held was in 1937, and it was attended by President Roosevelt.
Who was that? Was it
Roosevelt?
Washington?
Yeah, it was Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
I thought you were asking who was President Roosevelt. Like,
no, and that's one where I could have 2 guesses and be right.
And they both would have been Washington, D.C. They both would have been like in Washington. So, now there you go. That's list number 1. So, let's get things straightened out here for your list. Okay, Mr. Noodlehead is ready.
So, in the World Cup began in 1930. There are 8 nations that have won a World Cup in that time. Only 8. What 8 countries have won the World Cup?
So bad. Brazil?
Brazil has the most with 5.
Spain?
Spain won one in 2010. They're going for their second today.
Did France win one?
France won 2. They won in 2018, and they won in 98 when they hosted.
Nice. How about Mexico?
Mexico's never won a World Cup.
Okay. Has Italy won a World Cup?
Italy has won 4 World Cups. They are second. They've fallen off. I can't believe they didn't qualify, especially with the expanded field this time, but they've won 4 World Cups.
I remember watching the Euro Cup with my friend Nello, and the guy runs Mario's. He was an Italian soccer player. He never made like the world team, but loves soccer. How many do I have?
You have 4. You said Brazil, Italy, France, and Spain.
4 out of the 8?
Yep.
That's amazing to me. How about Germany?
So Germany, because obviously they were split there for a while. They've since reconciled, but they've won 4.
Okay.
Whether West Germany, East Germany, or unified Germany.
I don't know the difference. And now I could just start throwing. I actually felt pretty good about those guesses. Like I could start throwing out things like Chile or Peru, or like trying to think of South American countries. I'm not going to play Animaniacs. Who are the 3 that I missed? Or I'm passing on.
Argentina won the last one.
I didn't say Argentina.
You did not say Argentina.
That's yeah. Messi is mad at me. That's fine.
So Argentina has 3. They're going for their 4th today. Uruguay won the first one, and then they won again in the 50s.
Never pulling that out.
And England only has 1, but they won in 1966. And now they finished 3rd this time with their 6-goal performance yesterday.
Woo! All right, so this is like a sub list that goes along with the first list. Can you name the 2 active ballparks that have not held an All-Star game? There's only 2. The list is 2.
Wherever the Redondo Athletics are playing.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not sure. This was on the Wikipedia page. They didn't count that, but that's fair. Unless it just said an All-Star game, the Sacramento, they might have held a AAA All-Star game.
Oh, that's true.
These stadiums have never held an All-Star game. One of them's held a bowl game. I know that.
Tampa?
Tampa's Tropicana Field is one. That's not the one that held the bowl game.
Let's think. Yankee Stadium, Fenway, Toronto has, Baltimore has, Chicago, Cleveland, Kansas. I'm trying to think of like newer parks.
That's on the new end.
The Mets have, the Phillies have, the Braves have.
Think actual building.
Think actual building.
The building has not held an All-Star game. Not the city or team. The city or team has. Actually, many times, as we've learned.
I mean, I don't know.
Last one held at this stadium would have been 2008, but then they tore that stadium down.
Oh, Yankee Stadium?
And the new Yankee Stadium has never held an All-Star game. So that
I
builds.
couldn't remember. I could have sworn they had it at the new Yankee Stadium.
No, it was part of the whole goodbye thing. Yeah. So there we go. One more list, and I'm not sure. Like this is really just this is gonna be a guessing thing for you. All right. Bill Barnwell, NFL reporter, put out an article where he valued certain players in terms of first round picks. So, for example, if you wanted to trade for a certain player, Barnwell tells you how many first rounders it's going to take for you to get them. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
So I have a bunch of players here, and I want you to tell me how many first round picks you think Barnwell suggests that it would take to get this player. And your goal is to get as close to 0 as possible. So if I wanted to trade for Tim and it would take me 20 first round picks, if I say 15, my delta is 5, right?
Okay.
So then, and we're kind of going in order of divisions because as I wrote them down, we start in the AFC East. How many first round picks do you think Barnwell suggests it would take to get Josh Allen out of Buffalo?
See that's
what I said. There's no actual.
I'm thinking practically, like
it's certainly unpractical.
Yeah.
It might be illegal.
So based on this guy's like arbitrary system, like is he saying like 15 first round picks for Josh Allen, who was
That's what you're saying? Don't care. I'll tell you what he says later.
Okay. Boy, I don't know because like I keep thinking about it too practically, but Josh Allen was just named the best player in the league in the NFL Top 100. 12?
Your delta is now 5 because Josh Allen was supposed to be 7 first-round picks.
Okay.
That's right. Cornerback, Christian Gonzalez from the Patriots. How many first-round picks to get Christian Gonzalez?
4?
You're up to 7 because they said 2.
Okay.
Joe Burrow of the undefeated Cincinnati Bengals.
For his injury history, 3?
3, yeah. They said 4. So you're at 8. Will Anderson, defensive lineman, Houston.
Oof. 4.
They said 2. So we're in double digits now. Quarterback, C.J. Stroud.
1.
He said it was going to cost you 2. So you're up to 11. Cornerback, Patrick Surtain.
3.
They said 2. So I mean, now you're with him. Patrick Mahomes.
Coming off a torn ACL. 4.
7. Can you believe that 7 first-round picks for Patrick Mahomes coming off an injury, like you said?
And is he 30?
I don't know, but does he have 7 years? I'm just telling you what Barnwell says. Justin Herbert.
3.
He said 4, so you're right with him. Now we go to the NFC. Dak Prescott.
I'll stick with 3 for Dak.
Ooh, he said 1. 1 first-rounder gets you Dak Prescott.
I mean, on pure talent, Dak is, well, anyway.
Well, C.D. Lamb.
I mean, CD is kind of receded into the background with Pickens there. I'll say 2.
Went 1. Jalen Hurts.
1.
Hey, you got 1. Hey, Jalen Carter.
1.
No, they said 2.
Wow.
That's as long as he keeps the spit in his mouth. Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback.
2.
2. Hey, look at that. You're 2 for 3 out of the Philadelphia Eagles they listed. Quarterback Jaden Daniels. Oh, this was interesting.
Another injury situation, but he seems to overvalue quarterbacks. I'll say 3.
They said 3, right on the dot. Boom. Caleb Williams.
Oh, that's tricky because Caleb Williams is a guy who I think is on the rise because he's just gonna get smarter with what he does with the ball. I'll say 4.
4. Hey, you are not. You're like in 4 in a row for you. Jordan Love.
I'm not as high on Jordan Love as some people. I'll say 3.
3. That's another one in a row. It's like you have the list in front of you now. And the last one that I have listed, Barnwell gave a whole list of players. I skipped a couple. Last one, Myles Garrett, because we've seen this trade. But what are they going for Myles Garrett now?
5.
He said 2 plus some other stuff. I don't know what the other stuff is.
Throw in some Jolly Ranchers.
Ooh, yeah, that's how you get Myles Garrett. That's for sure. I think I was hankering for a list. I found the Philadelphia thing later. I'm like, I'll just keep this Barnwell list in there because it's silly.
I have one more list for you.
Oh, you do? Oh, let's go with it then. I thought you only had 1. I'm sorry.
No. So Justin Verlander announced his retirement coming up at the end of the season. He has 266 career wins, making him the active leader in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, we'll never see a 300-game winner.
We might not see a 200-game winner. Verlander is one of 14 pitchers active in Major League Baseball with at least 110 career wins. How many of the other 13 can you name?
Probably not too many. Let's go Garrett Cole.
He has 156.
Chris Sale.
He's 4th with 155.
Kershaw's not active anymore. Let's do it your way. Let's go through teams. I don't think New York has anybody. I don't think he's been around long. 110 is the thing, right?
Yep, 110 is the baseline.
Baltimore, no. Tampa, I don't Tampa. I think he's been around long enough to know. How about Shane Bieber?
That's a no on Shane Bieber.
No. This is like hurting my head. Oh boy. I'm a terrible baseball fan today.
Some of these would surprise you, but there's one guy in here. He's a surefire Hall of Famer.
Jacob DeGrom?
DeGrom's not there.
Oh wow. Uh,
I'll tell you the guy
I'm
who's
back to
the
going through.
surefire,
I'm back to going through teams in my head.
the guy who's the surefire first ballot Hall of Fame guy is the only other guy on the list with more than 200.
And for some reason, I can't think of old in terms of like Garrett Cole old.
This is definitely a guy who's hanging on.
He's hanging on like Jamie Moyer. Is he still pitching?
His name would be valuable in a game of Scrabble.
Oh, Zach Greinke?
No, he's not on the list.
Zach. Oh, that must be because he's not active. I don't think he's still playing. Uh,
You'd be a big fan of his first name.
oh, they calling Scherzer still active
Yeah.
because he hasn't pitched, but he's on a roster.
Yeah, he's
That's
on the
fair.
Toronto roster.
And I think that's where I haven't seen his name this year. Yeah, I'd say throw the other names out, man, because it's going to be a lot of us for me.
So it goes Verlander, Scherzer, Cole, Sale. Sonny Gray is next with 136.
Sonny Gray.
Zach Wheeler with 123. Kevin Gossman with 116. Michael Waka with 116.
St. Louis.
Yu Darvish with 115. Jose Quintana, creep can roll with 115. Patrick Corbin with 113. Carlos Carrasco with 112. Aaron Nola with 112. And Nathan Eovaldi with 111. Just shows you the devaluing of the starting pitcher.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, the current. Let me. This is funny to me. The leader in wins right now. Do you know who the wins leader is?
Is it Sanchez?
No, he has 11. This guy has 12. Aaron Ashby, relief pitcher, Milwaukee.
Oh God.
So that's whatever. Yeah. Oh boy, that hurt. So hopefully you have a keep 5 cut 5 that doesn't make me look like a complete boof.
I do. It's a recycled one from last week, but I liked it so much I didn't use it. Or I'm reusing it rather. Tom Hanks, our generation's Jimmy Stewart, turned 70 last week. So we're doing a keep 5 cut 5 of Tom Hanks movies.
Okay.
These are not all treasures. So, we have Oscar winners and other movies. I'm sure you can think of at least one that's in there, though.
2 or 3, I think. But all right, let's go with the even numbers. Let's go with 6.
Number 6 is Captain Phillips.
Was this was this the airplane movie?
No, this is the one where I'm the captain now with the Somali pirates.
Okay, I haven't. I have not seen this. This is a cut because I haven't seen it.
Okay.
And so any indictment of a movie that I haven't seen is illegitimate. So just because I cut it doesn't mean it's not a good movie. This could be very well be the best movie ever made. If you know me, you know my movie senses are odd. So that's a cut. Let's go with number 4.
Number 4, Hope you like talking to volleyballs because it's Castaway.
So this is another one. I believe it or not, I haven't seen this. But I'm also one. What did I do?
I don't know, but we disappeared. Our pretty faces. Oh, there we are.
Oh boy. So I think I inadvertently deleted our side screen. So there we go. I don't know what I did. This is me going back and forth between the list that I'm writing out and us. So
The wonders of technology.
As I was saying, Castaway was a movie I haven't seen, but I'm wondering if there's a lot of movies on your thing that I haven't seen. And I think this movie is just him in the volleyball for what, like 80% of it at least.
No, but a good chunk of the movie. Yeah, I would say it has more scenes with a man talking to a volleyball than most movies.
I'll keep Castaway because I think that's it speaks to Tom Hanks's flexibility as an actor.
All right, that's fair.
Let's go with 8.
Number 8. It was an odd trend in the 80s where we had movies about people switching bodies and becoming kids or becoming adults. Tom Hanks did it in the movie Big.
Oh yeah, Big is a keep. Just again, it's one I've seen, so it's the first one I've seen, so it really should feel like I should keep it. Well, the piano thing was like classic and to the point now where you can do that in New York at was it FEO Schwartz?
FEO Schwartz, yeah.
So yeah, let's keep Big and the Magic Zoltar.
Yeah, and Big, great movie. His first Oscar nomination for Best Actor.
Let's go with number 2.
See how the kid feels about the old number 2. It's not live action, but he did voice work in the Simpsons movie.
Was he in the Simpsons movie?
Yeah, he voices a version of himself.
That's I didn't even know that. I like the Simpsons movie. That was and so how many seasons did the Simpsons have before they put them on the big screen?
Oh God,
20 or so. It felt like a lot. So
yeah,
that was a whole. There's a cultural phenomenon for us. So yeah, we'll keep the Simpsons movie. I have somehow kept 3 movies. So
you have.
Wow. Let's finish off the evens here with number 10.
Number 10 is a movie for all the people who love cop movies but wishes they had more dogs. It's Turner and Hooch.
Oh, okay. I'm going to cut this again, not because it's bad. I haven't seen it, and you had me worried when you said cop movie. So we'll cut Turner and Hooch. Although it's probably an awesome movie.
I mean, it's Tom Hanks and a dog fighting crime. How could it not be good?
Let's go 7.
Number 7, when I said you knew there'd be one movie on this list that you could guarantee, there go the brownies. It's The Burbs.
Yep, there we go. That's a keep. That's a keep all day and every day. And it's not Tom Hanks that makes that movie great.
It's Bruce Dern.
Bruce Dern, but he has to be there to be the rational leader of the crew. So I have kept 1, 2, 3, 4. I can keep one of the last 4 here.
Yep, so, we're going to be cutting a lot.
Yeah. So let's see what the kid feels about the old number 1.
The old number 1 taught us about where you can and cannot cry. It's a league of their own.
Great movie. I'm going to cut it only because I think there's another one that I'm going to keep. So we'll cut League of Our Own. Feel bad about it.
Okay.
Let's go to number 9.
Number 9. This was just on the other day, and I watched it. And I texted you about it. It's Forrest Gump.
Oh, I don't remember you texting me about this.
I texted you. I was like, do you think they just used Forrest Gump as a returner, or did they work him into the offense?
Yeah, so that was like a 9:30 text, and I'm doing a project for Jen's show. I'm making a program. I was working on that. I didn't see that text again until the next day when I actually started thinking about it. So that makes sense as to where that's coming from now. We're going to cut Forrest Gump.
All right, Forrest.
Number 3.
Number 3, it's come up before when we talked about Pixar movies. It's Toy Story.
This is a hard cut, but the Woody versus Lance McQueen or the Rocket guy. You know what I mean?
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear. Couldn't get the name out. Cool rivalry that changes along the way. Great story. Good series, I guess, if we talk about movie series.
Yeah.
But we'll cut that because I think number 5 is the one I end up keeping. What is number 5?
Number 5 is Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, so it wasn't the one I was expecting to be there, so I have to keep it based on the rules of the game. I think I would have kept League of Their Own over Saving Private Ryan. Probably would have kept Toy Story over too. I was holding out for the Green Mile.
The Green Mile. There are a couple that I hadn't then crossed out.
I'm sure there's Tom Hanks has a wide catalog
Yeah,
beyond 10 movies.
I had Green Mile. I had Catch Me If You Can. But yeah, so you kept the Simpsons movie, Castaway, Saving Private Ryan, The Burbs, and Big. Not a bad night at the movies.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Can't go wrong. Cool deal. Oh, what's next on the rundown? Oh, it's Start Bench Cut. And for you, I wanted to make this like a tournament, but it didn't work out that way. So what you have ahead of you is is an all-star game centric show. Potential Major League Baseball all-star venues.
Okay.
That you have to start, bench, and cut. And your 3 choices are Oracle Park in San Francisco, Petco Park in San Diego, and PNC Park in Pittsburgh.
I've been to Oracle to see a game, and it's a great place. I haven't seen a game at Petco, but it was very just kind of eh. That's an easy cut, Petco. PNC has a well-deserved reputation as being maybe the most gorgeous stadium in baseball.
It does have a nice skyline behind it. I'll give it that.
I'm gonna start Oracle though, because I've been there and I enjoyed a game. The concessions are good atmosphere. You've got the Cove out there. I'm gonna bench PNC and get out of here, Petco.
That's I thought the city of San Diego might have been enough for you, but what I really wanted to do was come up with 9 things, like have start, bench, cut 3 times, and then take the 3 starters and put them against each other.
Oh yeah.
But like, so I couldn't think of like 9 stadiums that really would be like really good all-star experiences. Like the next one on the list was going to be Fenway. I'm like, well, he's going to pick that. That's a no doubter. Like, so that works.
Fenway, but Fenway does have weird sight lines because it wasn't, it was built, in the 1910s. And, for your more ample fans, they're narrow seats. It's not made for the modern American ass.
That's a very nice way of putting that. The ample baseball fan. And I think when I think of the All-Star experience, I put the Home Run Derby as part of it. So I think Fenway and the Wall, like Mark McGwire versus the Wall, was just a really cool storyline. So I think you'd have that again.
Baltimore, I remember that being a big deal about who could hit the warehouse.
Hit the warehouse. So between Boston, Baltimore, and let's throw Seattle in there.
And what are we doing with them?
Start, bench, cut. So you got Boston, you have Baltimore, and you have Seattle.
I'll start Boston, bench Baltimore, cut Seattle.
Okay, so you have Boston and San Francisco now. So really,
Wrigley, Yankee Stadium.
New Yankee Stadium is not the same as old Yankee Stadium. Like I might even bench them. Yeah, let's go Wrigley, Yankee Stadium, and Tropicana because it hasn't had one. So how much of a softie are you?
Tropicana's still not going to have one. Get out of here with your generic stadium.
Uh,
I'll start Wrigley, bench Yankee Stadium, and cut the Trop.
So your final then, Boston, San Francisco, and Wrigley.
I am going to surprise you here.
Start Wrigley. That'd be surprising.
I'm going to start Oracle.
Oh, you said you've been there before, so that's fair.
It was a fantastic experience. Like the location, the stadium itself. I'll bench Fenway, cut Wrigley.
Here you just heard you hate the Cubs.
Get out of here, Cubs.
And even if I had
White Sox town.
Even if I had free tickets to the All-Star game next year, you don't want to go.
You know my feelings about the All-Star game. I would love to.
All-Star tickets this year, I looked it up, they were like $300 or $400.
Yeah.
So you could go to like 3 Summer Slams, or you could go to an All-Star game.
I know what I would pick. But
I don't even know who's headlining SummerSlam this year.
Turn on ESPN, they'll tell you.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee. That actually might be the main event. Stephen A. Smith versus Pat McAfee.
Yeah, that might be our next presidential election.
So 2 hours ago it was updated on Wikipedia. What's the card? Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. Remember we had the whole little thing on Brock Lesnar retiring? I guess not.
Yeah, that didn't take.
Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. It's probably the 3700th time they've had a match on pay-per-view. I've never heard of Penta, but I guess he's the Intercontinental Champion. Oh. He's fighting Chad Gable. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. Okay, that's an undisputed WWE Championship match. I don't know why it's undisputed if they're fighting about it. 6-man tag with a bunch of guys and a 5-way ladder match for the interim women's championship. I don't know what interim means. Like you're going to be the women's title. You're going to be the women's champ. Or it's been a minute since I've paid attention to pro wrestling. So
if there's no dispute, what are we wrestling for? We're all in agreement. Let's go eat some pizza.
I don't know. So we actually have. I don't know when this came in. Oh, it just came in now. So I think our viewer has said we want to have a home run derby with players from 1940 through 1960. So that might be a top 5 or a draft we look at.
Is that your dad?
Yeah, I mean the chat name was at Robert Gemelli 744. So I assume.
Yeah, it's either your dad or a really good imposter.
Random old head who popped into our Twitch stream right now. So, but it's interesting. I don't know how he got. I have to ask him how he got that, so we could actually solicit people who want to. We have an AI viewer, Apocalyptic Police Manny. Thanks for joining in. Yes.
Nice to have you, Manny.
Yeah. Apocalyptic AI viewer. Like.
Wouldn't it be funny if that was your dad?
I thought it was a good username.
Yeah, your dad's at home like, don't you recognize me, son? It's Apocalyptic Dad.
I thought I had sent him the link to a while back. I thought I sent him the link to get in here. You can just pop in. I'm still working on. I haven't worked on the one guest. I'd love to have Chris Howard come and talk Michigan football one of our next shows because we're getting close to like Big Ten preview and stuff like that. But
yeah,
if there's anybody out there who wants to come talk sports with the soup guy and the meatball guy, let us know because we're up for weird stuff around here. Tim, did we miss anything today?
No, but it might be P o'clock.
Yeah, we're 3:18 in, and you know what I haven't finished
the Odyssey. Thing. This is like the Odyssey plus previews.
Beat the Odyssey. Excellent. Well,
take that, Homer.
The next 2 weeks, we take a break. So we figured a long show. We'll keep you tided over. I'm going to the World Board Gaming Championships with my dad. We're going to push a lot of plastic around the table and have goofy fun there. So, Tim, you got the Blacklist. You got lot of good stuff to
Wicked.
keep you entertained. We'll see everybody.